Welcome to Meadowbrook Members Podcast. I am Jelly, otherwise known as Glester Prince, and my co-host is Hitchcock, otherwise known as Alfred Henry. Our mission on this podcast series is to explore the stories behind the magic that was created at Meadowbrook. When over a span of 4 years, between 1982 and 1986, we saw the transformation of a small coeducational school with less than 1,200 students, 800 boys, 800 girls and 400 boys into a successful sports and scholastic champion, winning 7 major trophies, 3 Sunlight Cup, 2 Topping Cup, 1 Walker Cup, and 1 Nutriment Shield. And to crown these achievements, Meadowbrook also produced 2 Rhodes Scholars, Cavell Creighton in 1987 and Andrea Wright in 1989, both graduates of Meadowbrook in 1983. In this podcast series, we'll be speaking to persons, both males and female, who were actively involved in this incredible journey, along with friends and staff at Meadowbrook, which inspired the environment which created this golden era. We hope you enjoy our discussion. Please give us as much support and encouragement as you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. Welcome and thanks for joining us. All right, ready? Today is Friday, November 11, 2022. And welcome back to another conversation about Meadowbrook memories. Me, as usual, Jelly, our Glester, our Lance, our Prince, and by now, knows any one of them name they will do. Join me today as my co-host is the one with the velvet touch, as Tony Moore described her, as she has been primarily responsible for getting the female members of our school to step forward and join the conversation, and I'll be forever grateful for that. Also joining us today is my good friend Tony Moore, who is the most requested co-host for these conversations when the girls are joining the conversation because of his photographic memory. Today's guest, I want to estimate her contribution to our school, so I'll give her a proper Meadowbrook memories introduction and let her tell her own story. She graduated Meadowbrook in 1984 and represented Meadowbrook at netball and was also captain of the netball team. She was also a member of the All-Island Schoolgirl netball team that played in the Inter-Caribbean netball tournament. As far as I'm concerned, she was an elite athlete who represented Jamaica at the highest level as a schoolgirl. And this is no mean feat. But she's here to tell her story. So without further ado, let me welcome Carrol Ann-Simpson to the conversation. Welcome, Carrol. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I always tell you guys I don't know how much half of the memories, but let's roll with it. Class of 84, and I had to go back and double check with another friend because I wasn't so sure. Former, as Jelly said, netball captain, I guess for all the years that I've been there, junior and senior team. Represented the school in netball. I did also a little bit of track and field and hockey, if anybody remembers that, field hockey. And then I, thank God to netball, it carried me through to a one stint with the Jamaica national netball team for a one invitational game. And then that's it. I'm here after the begging and the prodding from Margaret. I'm hoping Tony, I understand you're like the most requested. I guess you're the girls, them sugar.
Yes.
So
20 years to start already, but don't worry.
Well, I tell you, I'd much rather be known for my photographic looks and not my photographic memories when it comes to the girls. But if it's a memory, I will gladly accept the memories.
You live with that, Tony. You live with that. Yes. So, Margaret, introduce back yourself.
Hi, everyone. Margaret Livermore here, class of 83. Happy to be here as usual. Extremely happy when Tony is here because, as you all know, he is hilarious and he remembers everything. Welcome, Carrol Ann-Simpson. I call your name on on every podcast that I'm a part of because I've wanted you to come on and share your memories. You have some awesome stuff to tell us.
And join the conversation. Good, good. And Tony, reintroduce back yourself, my brother.
Respect, Jelly, as always. Honored to be here and relive the memories. I'm a huge fan of your guest host, Carrol Ann-Simpson, the legendary one. And Margaret, enough love, enough love.
Love you too.
Oh,
All right, Carol. By now, I know you listen to a couple of these podcasts. The first question I ask anybody who come on them program, man, them conversation is, did you choose Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook choose you?
Meadowbrook chose me.
Mm-hmm.
I came from a Catholic school, Our Lady of the Angels. And mostly when you're coming from those kind of schools, you automatically choose Catholic schools. So I chose like Holy Childhood and Immaculate. And I think at the time when I passed, it was the era where they had too much and they placed people in schools, I guess, closer to where you were living. And so they said you need to go through everything. So I went through the whole newspaper today, come and know some auntie go beat me. So
Say you feel.
yeah, it was convinced, yeah, because I'm in a seat in there. And then the neighbor said, no, go and look through everything else. And then there was Meadowbrook, and I was like, okay, Meadowbrook. But all I knew was I run, go say, see my name here, see my name. I went Meadowbrook there.
I saw that. So you never kiss your teeth, you just glad to say at school I take you.
I'm just glad to see my name in the Gleaner.
Okay, I got you. See, you never know when Meadowbrook that tall, Carol?
Not at all, not at all. Never even heard about it, to be honest. I lived off of, I guess, where you call it, Juice-Dale Avenue, Arlene Avenue, where
Arlene
there's a
Gardens
little,
that you live?
yeah, Arlene Gardens, right? Yeah,
No, man,
a little bit after
then.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, past you and then go up that side.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never went further up past like the Queensbury area, so I never knew anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was kind of new to
Look
me.
like say you never left yard too tough on the
That is
lockdown,
true.
huh?
Yeah.
That is true.
And
That is so
Tony,
true.
yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Was taught that you just family and just stay home and just have fun with family. And unto this day, that still resonates with me to just have all the fun with family. So
you never really disappointed in some Meadowbrook you pass. You're just glad to say your name in the paper, just say, and you pass.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed. I was just glad I passed. And one of my good friends from OLA, we knew each other, Desi Gray. He actually passed there too. So I said, oh, good. I have somebody that I know that's going there. And my cousin had also passed that. She was going there to Dion Mailer. And so it was okay. I was okay with that because we'd always gone to school together.
Mm-hmm.
So I was good with it.
You have company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
No, I'm just I said, Carol, maybe you and I go back further than we're thinking, because I used to go to Orley for about 4 years,
Jesus Christ, see, you know.
See there? I
Remember
can
go back to
drop him that my sure say, Wayne Irons, Boris Grandison, call it now.
Yes.
I'm
No
a clown
wonder.
them. So what connect on that one there too? Cause I left there and went to St. Richard's in grade 4. So chances are I may have an early year picture. So I forgot my check that out, see if a tall person there.
That would be me. Because I mean, going there, I was like, I was tall and skinny. One of the, and them just make you feel like you're taller than everybody else because they always go in the back.
But for the record, Carl, how tall were you when you started high school?
Could have been 5'7" or 8" or something like that. So I was constantly growing. Each year I would grow more and more.
Okay.
I tell people say I wear what is crop pants with them have now. I was wearing it from a long time. So this new style with them have another style.
Which pants?
Look a short them pants with them have where they wear ankle with your ankle out, capris and your ankle out and all them things.
Okay.
Jelly, no, the women's style.
No, that me I say not that above my pay grade. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So when you come to Meadowbrook now, the first time you go up on the campus, what was the feeling like? When you come at the school, I know you say you never pick feed, what was the feeling like when you come on the campus? The first couple of weeks, you remember?
I was comfortable because it was a smaller school. I was coming from a smaller Catholic school, so it wasn't like it was this huge place and out of like I had to go too far to take a bus or anything like that. It was just really a stone throw technically from where I was living, and being that it was more homey, I guess if that's such a word, everybody just seemed like family. So when I got there, like I said, my cousin was there, and then I saw Desi, and I just felt like, okay, this is good for me. Anything bigger would have been too much because I
I have
was
a
not really,
question for you, Carol.
yeah,
Your cousin started before you or the
no, with
same year?
the same with me.
Oh, okay.
So you see,
But she left pretty early too because she migrated after that.
okay, she never
Okay.
go through Meadowbrook. How long she stayed?
I would say about a year
A
and
year,
a
okay,
half or
okay.
something. Yeah, a year and a half, and then she migrated.
So you say, walk come school, Carol. What year this was anyway? And we graduated before. What year this was you started Meadowbrook?
God,
79.
79.
79.
79,
79.
yeah.
I
79.
see me you started 20.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Me and Tony, we were in the same. I think Tony, were we in the same class?
Nope, you were in plucky class, weren't you? M.
Yeah, I was in Plucky class, 1M.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know
man.
Plucky, Carol?
Yeah, yeah, man. Plucky and I are good friends.
Plucky, I'm a
Our
Even
boy.
bona fide.
You know how good me know Plucky? Plucky, I'm a
oh,
good virgin. You like no, Carol. Plucky was like Richie. Plucky live beside Richie. When my cousin at Washington Garden. I used to pick up Richie. Plucky that come with me a morning time. I come here to come live. That 20 years ago. I did live near Plucky at Jersey, and Plucky used to come check me all the while.
man, I was in Jersey, and Plucky will always come check me when I was in Jersey. Actually, when I bought my first car, Plucky was working at Sears, and in the mechanic side when I bought my first car.
That time trade, yeah.
Yeah, he actually installed this aging us now. The radio where you could take off the face.
Yeah, the new radio, yes.
Yeah,
And
he put it in the car.
anti-theft.
Yes.
I never know.
So yeah. No, Plucky
I
pretty
never
good,
know
man.
Carol. Man, Plucky was good friend, man. Plucky was like a little brother to me, man. Garfield,
Yeah.
I could call him right name, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. For those who don't know it,
No
Garfield.
long ago, sadly, been just.
Yeah.
How long ago? About 2 years ago, Tony, Plucky passed on.
Yeah. Yes. 2 years ago. Sad business.
And that was there was a surprise. That was a surprise to all of it, but God rest him soul. But I didn't know that Carol. I'm a boy.
Oh yeah.
I'm a boy.
Yeah,
Plucky. So yeah. So you kinda come in and feel at home. Now you used to walk come school, Carol?
Sometimes I used to take the bus. My aunt would put me on the bus.
At a 43 bus or the 30 bus?
43, the 43.
Yeah.
And it used to come up. And the thing about Meadowbrook is because it's sits inside in a little residential area. So my aunt and my grandaunt and my grandmother was comfortable that I wouldn't have to take a bus, go halfway tree, go transfer here and all that stuff. So that it just fit.
No, I know you talk. I from me come from, and I used to walk on Meadowbrook every day. I take the 43 to like yourself.
Oh, okay. Used to come across a little gully
Yeah,
side.
man, right. So I'm
Yeah.
very familiar with Arlene Garden here.
Yep.
Carol, you weren't on evening shift when you started, were you?
To be honest, I can't remember. To be honest.
First farm. You would if you remember first farm. I think you were in Richie Lodge class, and you weren't in M, 1M, 1M1?
I think it's 1M. Honestly, that's the age of me. I can't remember.
If Jelly never have a wife up my yearbook, would have my yearbook to look for him, but I have my yearbook down there with him.
You have it on your phone, man. I want to pay 20. I have it safely.
No, the only yearbook I have is the 83 book, but that's the time they started putting everybody together. So it went by, I don't think it went by class. It just said like, it's a grade 10, grade 11 and all that.
Your first farm picture in there, Carol.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to her, Tony. As they are talking.
Yeah, man. Your first farm picture in there. Look it up, Jelly. Your first farm picture in there.
The same 83 book?
Yeah.
The 79. No, the 79. The 79 in the first farm.
I'm sending it to you,
With a
Carol.
Oh,
wick,
okay.
with a wicked hairstyle with some big plot.
Yeah.
Listen, stop
Yes, the
it.
big plot, them Tony, you know. I can send it to her. I'm
Eh,
have it on the phone, and don't worry.
if it wasn't the big plot, it was the style where cut off to the side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have that yearbook there, right? That's a one. I'm gonna send it to you right now, Carol. Don't worry yourself. So you come in now and you say Meadowbrook feel homely to you and all them way there. And like, was that a surprise to you?
No, because when we come in at first, I think we had to do devotion. So, which is not strange for me coming from the Catholic school because that's the first thing we do. So it just felt normal to me. So there was nothing I wasn't thrown off by anything at all.
Meadowbrook was not Catholic school either, so yeah.
No, not at all, not at all. I wouldn't a cat. I mean, you go to Catholic school, but you have to do the whole ritual. You have to go through the the whole services and everything. So you go through the process, but I'd not like something that I followed through all the way through. So when I went to Meadowbrook, it I didn't lose anything technically.
So what some of the friends that me meet on the first couple of weeks or months? Or you remember some of the friends them you buck up on?
Ah, like I said, Desi was the itchy Burke.
Itchy
Um,
Jamaica. Yeah.
yeah. Tony, you forgot help me. I know Nadine Moulton was one of them. Who else was there? Carlene Howard, because she used to run track.
Carolyn
Maurice Matt,
Howard,
yeah.
Sharon was
Karen
there.
Davidson, Michelle Stamp, that's my
Michelle
hardcore.
Stamp.
I knew Luke with her too. Squitty, the Kirk Smith. It's so much because I think that unique group that came in that year, everybody was just so friendly and happy to be around each other. We just talk.
It's a good group.
There's a whole list of them I could go down the line, and I
But
hate to.
were you in the same grade? Cause you have my book again, but with Gary Chambers and were you in the same class with Gary Chambers?
I can't remember
Might
who
try to
Gary.
remember if it was morning, if you were on first shift, then I could tell you exactly who were in your team. 'Cause if you're in then you were in Rich Lodge. If you're in first form, you were Rich Lodge in your first form.
You want block is the same year,
No,
man. Richard would have been the same year.
Richard Lodge wasn't everybody from my Richard Lodge. If it was a morning shift, it must also an evening shift the same day.
All
So
over the
that's the
place,
type of
yeah.
person I remember. Yeah, so that one would have hard for me. I knew I was with like Antoinette Palmer. She was in my class. Janice McLeod, and I think Michelle Meikle. I'm not sure.
She became
It
head
was just
girl
a, it was a, yeah, head girl
after
after.
a
It was
while,
just a
yeah.
blend of everybody. So Tony, it could be running all together,
Yeah,
but
yeah, 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 yeah. But some of your members that was on your outstanding, like the Nadia Harrison, the Janet Brown,
oh yeah,
um, all those people, Colin
Michelle
Harwood, that was a
Darian, yeah,
Michelle Darren, that was a strong group of girls.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Yvonne Edwards was one of them too.
Yep, yep. Yvonne Edwards, Sandra Nelson,
Yeah.
um,
And for the record, how much
yeah.
first time there was between the first and the second shift?
So it was Meadowbrook, MH High
MHS
School, S,
school, yeah.
and
S.
J. Don't forget J. The last time I forget J and Luke with a while me up. Say, oh, you forget J.
Yeah, yeah. J
So it
came
was
in late.
four.
Yeah, it
It
came
was
in late. It was
four.
a MHS and then the J.
And that's at the
J.
morning shift.
No,
I
it
think
was
it
for
was both
morning and
shifts.
evening.
Both
Both,
shifts.
both.
It was a lot of people.
So what the total,
Yeah.
how much first time like what, 6 or 7 that?
8.
So Jerry,
8.
4 in the morning and 4 in the
and
afternoon.
4 in the evening. And
Mm-hmm.
remember, now, Jelly, the evening shift came about because 3,000 additional heads were added from Ministry of Education.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And I was part of that last. So anybody who was added on was on evening shift. So you could
Ah,
automatically tell,
the second batch
say,
then. Yeah,
the
yeah.
smart people on day shift, because them passing at the first group, and then the collection will come later. And me and Margaret cousin Keith Livermore, Paul Chalmers, Facey did in there. Mitchina, all them
Linden.
there was on
Those were
Lindell
evening shift.
Williams, Sean King, all evening shift.
Oh, so then
Michelle Stamp,
I
Jackie
was morning
Wilson.
then.
You were morning. You were in Richie Lodge class. You were in the
Yeah.
Richie Lodge class. Spencer Wong.
Yeah.
You were in that class.
Yeah.
John Harvey, all them you there.
Yeah. I you name Leslie Tape. I think Tape or Tape. I don't remember how to pronounce his name. I think it's in that class.
Sexton Campbell was in your first form, I believe.
Sexton was there.
Yeah. So what some of the teachers that you remember, Carol, in the early days?
Mrs. Wiggins. Oh, I loved her so much.
That a Mark Wiggins mother.
Yeah.
And what she teach? What did she teach?
I think it's English.
Okay. English.
Yeah, English.
Sweet lady, man.
Yeah. Oh my God, the sweetest lady ever.
Yeah.
She was so pleasant. Every time you see her, she would just smile and say, "Hello, how are you doing?" Yeah, she's the biggest cheerleader.
That's why Wiggy a good boy, and you can tell Wiggy took her manners and.
Yes. Yeah, I can see the same. Always that smile and always pleasant.
Yeah, man. Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah. And Miss Bromley was I think she was biology.
Biology teacher.
Yep.
Yeah, and then of course the infamous Rory McGregor.
You was there when it started?
I don't think when it started, but
afterwards him come on, right?
Afterwards, yeah. I remember it in his math class. And the entertainment of me was of laughter was Mr. Hassan. I remember him.
He taught you?
Yeah, he actually taught me art. I had to learn to do drawing there, the still drawing. What do you call it? So they put something. They put like I want to say still art. So you put something down and you had to draw if it was an apple or a bowl or something like that. I was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
It calmed my nerves.
Calm it down. Yeah. So what impression you get of the surrounding of the school? Like when I just started in 74, it's like I can't forget the willow tree them a whistle. And I make noise. What impression when you come on the campus and you look on this campus? What was the impression you get at the field of Meadowbrook?
That I saw that's a good question because I can't say there was anything that was a true standout. I was just happy to be on campus, period. So I didn't think there was anything that truly would pull there was that big the mango tree, of course, around the school was one thing. And that's all it was. I was just happy to be there. I think it was just a great school in itself and the best fit that could ever be for me, like I said at the beginning.
You come from so near and you just walk and you just feel like I just it's a common feeling throughout this conversation now because some feel like a family. Like you go, it's like a bigger family, but a part of family.
Yeah, it's a part of family. So like even the group of folks, like when bus strike or when the bus man them said no schoolers, I could walk, go home.
Yeah.
You know,
you won, yes.
And me one, so that was what it felt like. There was not just any major click, and I was never, and I keep saying this, Margaret, I tell Margaret all the time, I am truly an introvert. So I knew this from way back then. So it's a small knit for me that I would be hanging around with anyway. But the rest made me, the place just felt good and comfortable.
I beg to differ on that, and I wish to qualify this introvert. You're a conditional introvert in an unknown environment. But Jelly, it's when she's there around people where she know nothing about. She's an extrovert. You see, she'll hang out on the tennis court there on the peck and the most laughing and talking while going.
Yeah.
Not the behavior of an introvert, sir.
No.
Tony, you have something called an extra. Them call extrovert, introvert, like a combo.
Conditional, conditional. It's a conditional in the environment. She's an introvert by nature, but in the right environment, she's an extrovert.
Well,
okay.
Don't remember put her up on the spot then, because I don't think she's introverted either. Or she's an introvert. No, because somebody introverted could not go on to go play national netball team for Jamaica as a
Oh,
schoolgirl. How did that come
but you,
about?
but,
Somebody claims they're an introvert. What
uh,
inspired you to start playing netball? Because if you go perform
mhm.
on a sports team, in a sports team at all, in front of a crowd, that is not introverted behavior. Carol, sorry.
It is. It's a
Oh, yeah, all right.
okay. So
So
we
tell me
tend
how
to
that go
mix
then.
up the whole introvert thing. I am not good with the I get extra. I would get nervous, I guess, or I tend to shut down, or I don't socialize my personal self with others, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with a crowd of people and stuff, you kind of vibe off them and you fit in. But then after a while, you have to disappear and
Yep,
reset.
yep,
That's technically
yep.
what the introvert does, and that's what I do. But I socialize with everybody, and yeah, I would say a resident clown in the process because my dad and them would tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
But um, I really don't know what triggered when I picked up the netball. I know when I was at OLA, I used to do a lot of track, and it was a sports day was a thing.
Yeah.
Never know nothing about netball. So when I got there, I couldn't tell you how I got started with it, but when I did, it just felt good, and I liked it, and I realized that I could do it pretty good. Things came easily to
Naturally for
me.
you. So who would some of the girls
Yeah.
them will play? We just look up to the girls that may come and say a play for the netball team.
Oh, the senior team had like Grace Witter,
Yeah, Lucas' sister.
Sharon,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sharon, Sharon Robinson.
Sharon Robinson. I think Rowena was on it. Um,
Lynette Darren's big sister, is it Sandra Darren? Was
Andrea Darren, yeah. What was this other one? Lorraine McKinley. She was a winger or something like that. So they were. So when you see those group of girls playing, I was like, oh, they're elite. And so I started looking at what they did and just kind of honing in on the craft.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just came, I guess it came natural because I was at the first year, I was on the junior squad,
Mm-hmm.
and our junior squad did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Did pretty good.
Now, who are some of the team
Yeah,
members them
because
who play on a junior squad earlier, Carol? We remember.
Nadia Harrison, she was our shooter. Oh my God, just great, a great, great place. I had another one. Charmaine Higgins was there. Michelle
Mm-hmm.
Darren, I think, was there.
Mm-hmm.
Marlene
Ma-
Foster.
Marlene Foster. Yep.
Yeah, she
Michelle
passed
Stamp.
away.
Janet Brown.
Yep. Gail Hyde was on it. Quite. So some of these names I'm calling, some people might not even remember them because again, it was almost like a little niche of introverted people, Tony, as much as you guys don't believe it. The team just needed, it was just the team. We didn't do anything else.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And that worked for us. And we played about at that time, I think there was only four or five schools we played.
Mm-hmm.
I think we played them twice, home and away.
Mm-hmm.
And we really battled with just one of the top schools there. But the rest of them we just not beat the crap out of them, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But the top school was Arden. And
I
that
did.
was always when the fun battles came about.
Mm-hmm.
I look
And a
forward to that.
big something, you see the whole court people crowd all the way around you. Look at man like
Yeah,
me can't even see. Man, I climb all tree up a peck of a see. Big
yeah,
something, man.
Yeah, were you surprised? Were
definitely.
you surprised at that crowd, Carol, in terms of what shows to the netball matches them at the school? That's a
You,
big thing as to want to say now.
yeah, it surprised us because when you're practicing, people just walk by, kids walk by, and that's it. I'm going about them business. But for the actual matches, but I think at the beginning there was just people were there because of the senior team, right? With Sharon and Grace and stuff. They had flair when they were
Mm-hmm.
play.
Mm-hmm.
So them carry a crowd. But then when the junior team started to really show competition, like with myself and Nadia and Michelle and stuff, it was like, whoa, but this thing nice. So the junior team play first, and then the senior team are gonna play after.
Mm-hmm.
And when the my first game, I was so surprised. Like, well, why them kids? All of these kids outside here, them have class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you get nervous at the beginning, but once you're settling into the game, that's literally, and I think I carried that right through to netball. inter-island national,
National
and then
cruises,
up to
right?
basketball, right? And to basketball, it's just like you're zoning and you just forget the noise
Yeah,
around
yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So that was what I did.
So may I ask you something?
Carol,
Yeah, go ahead,
Jelly,
please.
one quick sec. You mentioned basketball, and I don't know if you know this, but I don't remember the year. I think it's in
79, this,
2000.
maybe this, yeah, go ahead,
No,
go ahead.
2000. Doc Rivers' first year coaching the Orlando Magic. So I left Universal Studios and worked for the Orlando Magic for like one season. Doc
Mm-hmm.
Rivers' first year. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, the Magic had acquired the Miracle WNBA team.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the Miracle, I got a chance to work with some of the recruiters. And your name was a known name among the Jamaican girls who were trying out for the Miracle team. Because I
Lord.
remember talking with them, and they brought your name up several times.
Oh God. The other side of my life. Yes, I
Uh-huh.
remember. Yeah, yep. That was when I went to college and I was playing and pretty decent basketball player.
Hmm. Well, that's not
I
pretty
didn't
decent.
follow through on it.
That's more than
But
decent,
Jelly, the
Carol.
point, the point is, the point is that Carol's name was mentioned among the professional recruitment team
Elite.
for
Yeah,
basketball in the
exactly.
US.
In the
So you have
US.
to give her props. You have to give her props for
Right,
that
right,
master.
Tony, right. That's why I'm not such underestimate our talent and our contribution. Because if she reach a level, I never reach a level
Where
of Carol. Yeah, go ahead.
professional players are mentioning her.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
That's how good she became. That's how good she was.
And could have, if she had started out in the early years of basketball, should have been an NBA player,
Mm.
no question.
Hmm.
Double NBA player, no
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, but yeah, and I attribute it all to netball and what I learned there. And when I left netball, I played basketball in Jamaica for Aqua United
Yeah.
club, and loved that group of people. So from there, I kind of got better, and then I came overseas. I got one of my other good friends here told the other coach at in Florida about me, and I went down there and I played for all those years. So that's how the Florida thing, the miracle and all that stuff came about, where I was probably known within that circle because I played in the Sunshine State.
So you never play.
And
Mm.
then,
You finish, Carol.
huh?
Sorry, go ahead. No, finish up.
Okay, and then after college, I played a little on the semi-pro because I don't know, Tony, you remember if you remember the semi-pro league in Orlando? Don't know if you remember, but there was.
Kinda.
Yeah, so there was a semi-pro league there, and I played a little bit there, and then I was offered to go to Milan in over there in Italy.
Italy.
Yeah, but I didn't want to do that. I said no, I'm done. I just couldn't see living out of a suitcase, and at the time, they didn't pay basketball players, women basketball players, pretty
The
well.
woman, yeah.
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 So for what I was going to do and leave my family, like I said, remember my family is close, so I didn't to leave them and go over there to live out of a suitcase at a hotel and all that. I just couldn't see past that. And then I saw what the opportunities of what I could do in the workforce here overseas. I just said that's it. I hung up my shoes.
Yeah. You never take on the trailblazing thing. And nothing wrong.
No, no, no. And like Tony said, my name came up a couple of times, and I knew about it, and I got calls about it, but I hung up the sneakers.
And nothing wrong with that, Carol. Nothing wrong with that
Mm.
at all. Because
Nope, nope, nope.
I took that decision early in my life. Say it it's me not good enough. Me never think me good enough to play cricket. So me just decide to go for business. So I understand what you mean. Business and just say, boy,
Oh,
me try to make a living another way because it's a risk. People don't understand. So when
yeah.
you play sports, one injury and that's it.
Oh, yeah. You go through tons of it. So I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah, 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 yeah,
as you're going through the years of playing, your body take a
yeah,
beating,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm glad for that memory there, Tony. See, that's why I request you,
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
goodness
You
sakes.
Hmm.
requested, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
the
Hmm.
girls, them sugar.
so Carol, you never play
Yeah.
basketball while you was at Meadowbrook. It's after you leave Meadowbrook, you started playing.
It was in my I would say the last year at Meadowbrook I started basketball, and it was at the National Stadium, and I don't remember how, again, I don't remember how I got into that. Actually, I started playing netball for a netball club and our club Monarchs was at training at the National Stadium. And so I saw them playing basketball, and one of the guys said, "Hey, they're still always trying to recruit because they wanted to start the girls' league, the female league." And I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And a couple of us from the netball team went and played, and it was fun. The rules were different, but it kept me in conditioning. So I was cool with that, and I get into a lot of sports because it kept me active and busy. So I'd like even at Meadowbrook, I did not just netball. I think did I do softball, Tony? I don't remember. I know, but I know I did track and field. Little known, probably Tony might know, but I did long jump for Meadowbrook at Champs.
That's the one girl champ and boy champ separate.
Separate, yeah.
Separate.
Yeah. Let's see what else and then I did field hockey. I think I told you about this, Jelly, one time when we were talking. And we had a field hockey team. I don't know how Meadowbrook came up with that, but I always got into these sports, anything to just get away from stuff, basically. Because once I leave school, I have to go home, and you can't go back out through the gates. So if it's sports, then I can always say, Auntie, I have a game and I have training or something. So it kept me out there a little bit longer. So that's why I gravitated a lot to the sports.
Yeah, a lot.
I think Mr. Dean had a lot to do with the hockey program at Meadowbrook.
The field hockey.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, because I think the boys, they had a boys one too, because if I'm not mistaken, Delano McFarlane or so. Delano
used to run. He was part of the 4x1 team on 400.
He used to do the hockey.
Delano was a talented dude named. He was the guy who John Mayer talked about, forget him sweats.
Yeah.
But beer jackstrap. But Delano could have run, Delano could have paint, and he was a great artist, and I think he actually did it professionally.
Yeah, he did the mural on the wall.
Yep. Talented dude.
Yeah, he did the field hockey. Field hockey was fun though. I remember a couple of times we went up there to Mona and played, and I was pretty good. I would say I was pretty good with majority of sports. I don't think there's one that I kind of messed up on.
Yeah, I'm glad
talented.
I'm glad you're talking to Carrol, because a lot of people understand how sports open doors in a whole heap of ways. The connection.
Definitely.
The connection we make when we play sports, people understand at all. It's like, and people must encourage them children to go play sports and play for a school or at a school. If you have the talent to do it, if you just
Yeah, I think it does good for the child's confidence, and it opened, as you said, opened doors in many ways. Because I remember when I got my first job, and it was with Delta, when I had the interview, because I had played basketball. It's a panel interview. So I had 4 people, and the very first person said, "Oh, so you played basketball? Tell me about basketball." And I was shocked, like, wait, I thought you'd say,
relevant to
tell me
the
about
job.
yourself.
Yeah.
So I could see where that it helps, and it helps with the discipline. You keep going, and you might fall down, but you have to pick up yourself and keep going till the last whistle.
You will help with more things as well, Carl, and people understand. Help with teamwork, So if
you
definitely. A team sport, an employer look upon you must say, forget to handle that team.
Yeah.
And
strategy.
Yeah.
And strategy too in the process, because you can't play a team sport and not know what on.
You have to give and take. Exactly. So a lot of
and I'd also say,
Tony, sorry.
All 3 of us, I know Margaret didn't play as much, but all 3 of us are who we are in the professional field because of who we were initially on the play field, right? Build character and fight and resilience and all that. Hey, Jelly, I have to say real quick though, we have to acknowledge when you talk about basketball, not many people realize that Meadowbrook actually won a basketball championship.
Division 2 championship. I think in 1979.
Yeah, man.
They got the same year.
Yep.
It may have been the
Colton,
Gary Harris, Carl Harris.
Gary Harris.
Alton.
Yeah, man.
Alton was a star player.
Alton. Davis. Alton.
Alton, forget him last name. Alton Sterling. Alton Sterling, Tony. That was the name. Alton.
Yeah. And Dave was.
Mickey Garden. A lot of them are
Brilliant
good.
team. So we were first formers when these guys were slam. Back then, Dr. J and Magic Johnson Dr. J was a big name then, but
Hmm.
we were watching these guys dunking and slamming, and Meadowbrook was recognized. We were underdog, but we were recognized as champions at the time. And the unfortunate thing is, after that, it just fell off.
Yeah. Somebody talk about that. There wasn't a program for continuation at all,
No,
and that
no
is a sad
coaching
thing.
or anything.
Yeah. It just
Yeah.
Ironically,
yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
I forget Marlon Hunnigan some props. So Marlon
Yes.
played
Yes.
played a lot with Carol, and so did Fabian.
Yes.
But
Yes. Yes.
Marlon could have get on the basketball team, and I think he had set a school record for scoring something like 50 points in
Yeah.
one game.
Yeah. Marlon,
Um,
a
yeah,
sweet guy. One of a pretty close friend too. Yep. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah. So
But the challenge with those two sports, even with netball too, is just that you never have the right staff to take it to the next level, and that
yeah,
was really what it lacked a lot of. We had what I would consider now PE teachers, because when I'm still close friends with some of the girls from Arden because we used to battle so much that I would see them over here too when I played in the netball leagues over here, and we used to talk about it and laugh about it. But they had a coach, like, I mean, she had a
yeah.
structure, and with her structure, that's why Arden would beat us. We could be up on them. What we know was basically just we were just naturally
skill and
skilled.
determination. Yeah,
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 and that
yeah.
was an athletic because we would beat them up. I mean, physically beat them up and physically get ahead. But then
Them
she had
get out.
strategy.
Them go out coach by one because them have a coach.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, man, they were
That's
coach,
right.
and she had a strategy, so she knew, what to do to
Yeah.
take us down over time as the game goes along, and that's we always end up losing the game towards the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, because
But it's always the excitement of the game.
yeah, on and I say,
But,
yeah, go ahead, Tony.
but Carol, you had the prettiest coach in the business. You know who I'm talking about.
Who that
Yes, sir.
who that know Tony? I'm another coach.
Miss Smith,
Miss
not Miss
Smith.
Smith.
No,
Is Miss Smith? No, not Miss Smith.
let me look.
So
You have the
she
yearbook,
was
Carol. Yeah.
she's in the yearbook
She
that you
was
have for me,
young. She
Jimmy.
was young.
Young, beautiful, and
Yeah,
every schoolboy I swear to her when she up on the court with her whistle.
yeah. Poor thing. She was young, young too.
In
I
fact,
can't remember
in
her
fact,
name.
in fact, a Meadowbrook guy, I'm not call him name, a brethren, end up getting expelled because of her.
I
But I
can't.
get
I don't think the book had her name in her because I know we had Miss
She in there, man.
Raymond.
No, Jelly. If you look in the '84 book, there's a picture of Carol and the entire netball team,
the
and the
The
83
coach
book.
is
83
there with
team or the
yeah.
83. The 83 book has her in
The
there, but I
83
know.
book has her in there, and her name is in there too. I can't remember her name, but can't forget
Mm,
her boy.
well, I remember her name, but I know
Many,
Miss Raymond was the older lady. She was in the
yep.
picture.
Miss Raymond was the older one. She's on there. She's in there. Trust me, she did a man.
I have the book at Tony. I look since I've looked, I can flip it instead of flip forward.
Yeah, what you on
The,
the
the,
which one you in? The 83
The
book?
83 one. Yeah.
yeah, look at the sports, and you see the two netball team, the junior team and the
Yeah, I
senior
remember
team,
that
and
picture. I remember that picture of that Tony. Yeah.
she's in there.
But let me ask you something.
Enough schoolboy.
Let me ask you something, Carl. Like what I talk about the team, Were you surprised at the amount of boys who were interested in netball?
Well, I mean, in terms of watching it or playing it?
Yes. Watching.
Oh, watching it?
Yeah.
You know, every time I meet somebody that now remembers me from playing or something, them always talk about the skirt them, and when we jump, the skirt them fly up and things. I was so I really think that was the attraction.
No,
It was
you got that right, Carl. You know what the attraction was. It wasn't about nothing at all
yes,
about that.
it
Yes.
wasn't nothing else. But the sports guys like the Tony them and Hitchy and the team guys, the Colts team, the Manicup team, the Sunlight team and stuff. They understood competition. So once we started really getting into the game and you could hear them Ray, 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 all of that stuff, it was like as the passes go,
And the
everybody,
ball, and the
Yeah.
yeah,
ball them a watch. It's a different thing them watching. Yes, yes.
No, Jelly. Carol said that, I remember Squitty specifically. It's when ball apart, brethren.
yep,
I serious thing she talk about, the momentum and the
yeah,
vocal expression when ball are passing, brethren.
yep.
The whole Manning Cup team come support them, man.
Yes, yes. That was the one thing I remembered a lot. The full Manning Cup team, all of those teams came and they just sat there. Everybody piled up over by Pekka, lined the entire. And the funny
Yep.
thing is, a lot of the games them sometimes was during school time, class time. So I was so surprised that them have a class to go. What am I doing outside?
Which
I don't think
class?
Miss
Everybody
McKenna,
there
Miss
out there,
McKenna
man.
couldn't control. Yeah, she couldn't control that. I mean,
Miss
so
Clark was her
Carol,
name.
remember Ben?
Miss Clark was
Miss
her name.
Clark.
yes,
Yes, Miss
Clark.
Clark.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
yes.
Yeah,
Clark
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is. Clark it is.
Miss.
Carol, remember Benton? God bless him
Name
soul.
is
Remember
yeah,
Benton?
yeah,
Benton
yeah.
was Charmaine's a significant other. Yeah, that kid with Charmaine. Remember Benton
Yes,
came from
yes.
Boys Town. But the whole Manning Cup side used to support him, man.
Yeah, and the same. We did the same. We would go down and go to all of the games that we could go to and stuff. Nothing would miss us if a game down Bottomfield we reach. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and that was a good camaraderie. And I think what happened because the guys they were also in the same year that we were. So
Yeah.
we kind of know them. We grew up as brother and sister, so we're just gonna go support.
Yeah, I think that group of students there, and it's the same group that went on to win Walker Cup, Tony. It's a group of students that want to start. In that time, it was a special group of students, Carol. I agree with you.
From going back to 79, we just had this chemistry and this flow, and Carol described and Margaret often talk about this, just the environment. Jelly, you poetically referenced the wind blowing in the willow trees, but it was that
Mhm.
environment. You look up at the hills, and we
Yeah,
were peaceful. We were peaceful. It wasn't, we got along, but we were, and I can say this being older, we were happy students in a happy environment who got along with each other.
it,
Yeah.
it it definitely was. And like I keep saying homely, it really was because when we went to other schools to play, you'd feel so out like you're out of water, fish out of water because the environment was different.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't the same. I mean, we were up there in the hills,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
elite,
Yep.
the residential area of the school was. When we went to Holy Child, we were down in Halfway Tree. They just seemed busy,
Yeah, yeah,
but
Hmm.
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
so it just
Hmm.
wasn't. It was just different, and that's what I really liked about Meadowbrook.
Yeah, man, it's like a different world altogether, man. The open at the school,
Hmm.
man.
Yeah.
It's like a different world altogether. But may I ask you
So
something, man? Yeah, go
Jelly,
ahead, Tony,
go
yeah.
go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go. May I have something after that. Go ahead.
I ask Carol this, because she said she was a sports person. When we won Sunlight Cup in 1982, did the girls on the netball team support know about that, or it was just totally off of them radar?
How was the jelly, Tony,
I will do him. I will do him. I will do him. I
What?
will do him.
jelly.
But I have to
we were
ask. Go ahead.
we were all up front. We're head cook and bottle washer in night. We were there. We were at every match. No, Tony, if I'm not
So
mistaken. No, not all of the girls.
when Cara, when Jelly them did win, we did dip a little bit on the younger side.
Yeah,
I
but
think we're in
we
sec,
went.
but we were there.
We were there. We were there. Not all the
And
girls on
then,
the team went, but just the
but
few kids and like myself.
but the next time we win the championship, it was really our group of kids.
84 and
Yeah,
master
We were
captain of
even
the team. Yeah,
yet
yeah,
if
yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
we were
yeah.
more center there
Yeah,
in that
cause
master on the master and
yeah,
team.
yeah. So the question now for you, Carl, how did that make you feel? Some Meadowbrook, I win up them thing, as a small school up in the hills, that's when nobody never know before. How that make you feel?
I was extremely proud because, like, when you go high school, everybody talk about the KC, the GC, the Calabar, and big name schools. So yes, I said, boy, but my little school, my little school. But just to know that our little school could have beat them, it was almost like the David and Goliath thing.
Yeah, it was.
And when you win, we start walk differently, when we start take bus. It's like they can't talk to me. So yeah, that was, I mean, it felt good. No, and what I liked about it was that the teachers, the principal, and everybody, span and everybody acknowledged it. Because I could see sometimes some schools them could have just say, oh, it's just a trophy or it's just a thing, but it was well acknowledged at the school, so
Yeah, them
it
parade
made a
way,
feel,
them parade way
yeah,
around. Yeah, that's true. That is true, Carol. They make us feel good at
big,
the
big,
school.
big something, yeah.
Big, big something. Big
Hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
And as John Muir said, Jelly, the KCs, the JCs, and the caliber of the schools that Carol just listed. When man I go them school, there's a different male to male camaraderie, and Dougie Laughman talk about this too. But when in an environment and you have beautiful, smiling, engaging young ladies, it just make the vibe just so much better,
Mm-hmm.
so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate Meadowbrook. I don't think I could go after coming to Meadowbrook and being there. We done the very first farm year, and I did look at your thing that you sent me, Jelly. It was 1M.
Yeah.
Um
Yep.
Okay.
One
I
M one,
don't
one M one.
1M1, yeah. I don't think I could have gone to the two schools that I had chosen. And I thought, because again, it was Catholic choices, right? Holy Child and Immaculate. I don't think I would have done well there at all.
You didn't fit in at
Even
all.
though I was an introvert, yeah, because being around the crew that I was around, it helped me, it kind of pulled me out a little bit to
Mm-hmm.
communicate and to talk and have fun.
Yeah.
So
And that.
I don't
So
think I would have done that.
on that note, this young lady that came from a Catholic school was asked by the great Miss McClennan to lead worship. And Carol Simpson, I would like in your words for you, with your Catholic school background and all the Bible verses there, why don't you tell Jelly about when you were asked to lead worship, please?
And what farm you were in at the time? Just to the record.
Tony, you want to tell the story? I can't when they said
No,
Jesus wept.
Miss McClennan asked Carol to lead worship and to cover a Bible verse, right? And in front of the whole school, Carol get up there like say she a bust big Bible verse and to give the
Yeah, man.
smallest verse in the
I go out there and say Jesus wept.
entire Bible. She said Jesus wept and she done. And the reaction was that I laughed.
She what, Tony?
She said Jesus wept. Everybody start bust up and laugh. Yes,
Oh
Miss
God, I didn't
McClennan.
have the memory. Margaret, you're so quiet.
Just
Where is
say I
Margaret?
listen.
Yeah, I mean, poor Spanish. She does not say she shouldn't have called me, but I knew that Bible verse and I was very ready for it.
That's the only one. So what farm were you in, Carol?
I don't remember. Was it second farm, Tony?
No man, later in man. Them time they your name, you're entity them
Oh, a
time
big
the
name.
man.
See,
Oh,
well
okay, all
known
right.
throughout the school and all them with her introvertness
Yeah
gone, Tony.
man.
Yes, 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 yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you though, she was confident though. Carol was confident. I remember specifically hanging up above the library with Carol and just laughing
Mhm.
and talking and Angela awful and she was
Yep.
just confident in who she was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
Thank you for the memory, Tony. Thank you for the memory. See, I tell you, that's why I had to request you, because you would remember everything.
But you mentioned
mhm.
something, though, Carol. I'm afraid I ask you about that. What was your relationship like with Miss McLennan?
Um, she was cool. And you have a love. I don't say it's not a love hate, it's a love fear relationship with her. Um, but and this it's funny enough, but she really loved the athletes. She
Yes,
She
really
yeah,
did.
did.
yes, 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 yes.
And and
Especially Mina Sanders.
oh, definitely, cause say me, I was a member of the Saunders
Yeah, yeah,
house.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Oh, you never bring it up in a jelly, but we just want to know. Make everybody know, like Margaret, with the blue colored hair.
Mind how you talk about the blue.
The Saunders house. So yeah, she but one thing about her, she wanted us to succeed, right? Not only in the sports, but also in our bookwork.
Academically,
So
yeah.
yeah. So she was on me at all times, and I wasn't bad with my bookwork at all. So I very rarely visit our office. If I remember only one time, and that must have been my most embarrassing.
Oh, we'll talk about that then, because that's one of the questions I'm going to ask you anyway. Tell me the most embarrassing moment at school you can look up on with a smile. As I bring it up, let me ask you.
It's going to her office, Spanner office. I never really have bad things. I think I was a pretty good girl at school, to be honest. I think,
Well,
but
that sounds like you bust out after I left school. That chance at Tony.
no, I still give. No,
Margaret, I thought she quiet to tell me, say, after she left school, she become a bad girl. That's why I sing the song,
She
right?
sound like she's not too sure too. You hear she say, I
not
think I was
sure. I think.
there's a hint of coverage if you listen to how she said it in a Jerry.
Yeah.
And Carrol Ann-Simpson,
Mhm.
me and you touch some grounds where you might not even remember, And
That's
I won't go into details of it, but I even remember something associated to a time of being in Red Hills that you're not even aware that I was aware of Red Hills. And, I'm going to leave it at that because do you remember what I'm talking, Carrol Ann-Simpson?
No, darling, not at all.
No?
Some things I probably just block off and lock up in a one safe.
Lock off.
Just put in that vault and just done it. But
Yeah.
my most embarrassing, I think it was just going to Spanner office. Sometimes you try to hang out with people, the crew where you think is a cool crew, right? So we're supposed to wear navy blue socks. And me, so I go be with the cool crew. I wear the white socks. But I can't leave home with the white socks on, because my auntie would have beat me. So I have the white socks on over the blue socks, and I reach a school. I go, yeah, I go start like everybody else. I'm gonna take off my blue socks and walk right into Spanner. And then she's like, she just do the clap her hand and just point.
Clap. Yes,
And
I
point.
remember that clap there. Yes.
And point and tell me to go. And that day she was on a rampage. I think she was just going around the school. And I was in the office, and a couple of the teachers then was walking past, and that kind of embarrassing because they said, then I look when you say, what you would do yourself? I'm like, oh my God. So that is, if I remember, that's probably one of the worst ones for me. Other than that,
And it's not like she can't hide,
No.
I don't like she can't hide.
No.
At that time, I think I was about 5'10" or 5'11", I think, at that point. So,
You couldn't hide
so
at
you go
all.
in there, all the teachers then passing and looking at you. And like some of the teachers have had this judgmental look.
Yeah.
So you kind of, you start, the more them walk past you, the more you squeeze down in the chair and all the things. So I said, and all I kept thinking to myself is, Jesus Christ, how my auntie going to kill me. Because I can't go home, because
Can't go and go tell her nothing.
can't go home and tell her nothing. And I'm like, oh my God. And I don't want her to come up to the school either, because my auntie is a different type of woman, So I'm like, Jesus, help me. I'm there trying to, strategize what am I going to tell Spanner and everything. And I mean, she was just basically saying, when she come in here, you're not supposed to break the rules. The first thing when she came in, she asked me what I was doing in there. I was like, Spanner, really? But other than that, just talk to you until you can change your socks and then send me back out. She really loved the athletes, so I got off light.
Yeah, man, she love our athletes, man. I can't attest to that, though. She love our athletes, Carol. Yeah.
But you know what Carol just said, near enough people we started realizing that Spanner would sometimes send it to our office and forget why she sent it there.
She did.
That time to couple man enough she said, what you doing here? And if you're dumb enough to remind her, she'll remember, but enough man get out after that.
Yeah, man.
She not remember. You're right. Right. Yes.
No, I remember that. She said, what you doing in there? And I was like, and then she's like, no, you gotta go to your class and do well. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So tell me some of the fun memories them used to have at Meadowbrook, Carol, apart from the facts there. Either upon the training ground, in the classroom, I go match on a bottom field sports day. Give me some of your most memorable fun memories you had at Meadowbrook.
Without a doubt, it's gonna be the netball matches around when everybody was out there, the excitement, just everybody giving you the energy, and you feel like you're a big superstar at that point, because I mean, when you're out there playing, even when you're losing, them cheering you, say Ray, Ray, Ray. I mean, that got you going. But also, sports day when we line up from up by the school, and we would walk down. So the host that won the year before lead off. And of course, every year Saunders was in the front. So
You're 20.
you see, not
I
about to
hate to
ask
admit it. Hate
Tony
to admit
can't
it, but that's true.
Tony and Margaret can't relate to this part of it because they were never up the front, Jelly.
That's because we didn't have the leader of the school choosing the
best
best
athlete, the
athletes
best
for
athlete
her.
them, exactly.
Yeah, for her host. That was so
That was
unfair.
it.
No,
That was it.
funny enough, Spanner did in fact place me in Saunders,
She did?
No, she didn't. No, I was in Saunders in first form. I wasn't in sports at that time.
That's why
So she never.
She never knew about the talent before.
But
Exactly.
but
Right.
but what we realize now. So here's what I think was happening. We didn't get our houses right after we started. Our houses assigned was later after we went through a series of PE.
Yes.
You get what I say?
Yeah.
But she
So
never picked me. Somebody was feeding her.
She not pick
Hello,
everybody,
miss.
but
She
the
had her crew.
standout, shout out crew, shout out sister man.
Yeah, man.
After PE, the standout.
Well,
And I want to say, you said the senior students, like back in our time, the Courtney Strudricks and the well, Sharon was in Garshore and she was top female athlete, but I think there was a selection, there was a series of the seniors being involved in the selection early.
Oh, okay. That's okay. That's okay. I understand, guys. I understand.
What bit
The pain. It's okay. It's okay.
You're 20.
Yeah, man.
I think we need to leave this bit of the conversation and
we're
move
not going to make
on.
our brag the more upon
Yeah.
women because.
But Saunders did dominate in our era. I'll have to admit, Saunders did dominate, but there was reasoning behind it. But they did. I'll give them that.
Listen.
In track and field.
Listen, in track and field, we were pretty good. But the sports day was fun because the marching from up at the school and the cheerleaders, them every year, these cheerleaders were quite creative with them outfits.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
they led off and stuff. And it comes to think of it as a long walk from our school, go bottom field, but the excitement of that day, we walking through people, residential area, people house and everything. I remember a chant and a carry on. I went, that was exciting.
Yeah.
So, and then you get to sports day and, you're in your corner and you have all these sports, I guess, cheers and everything. So, that I can't take away anything from that. Loved every bit of it. Loved every bit of it.
Hey, Jelly, you remember Neville Foster, from Cadet?
Yeah, man, I have him come up, at least.
Wicked Cadet youth, man. Wicked Cadet youth. But never used to bring the bugle in. I usually got champs with it. And I usually blow it for gosh, I'm a youth named Makote. Makote?
Yeah,
Milton
and Mark.
Mark, me didn't know. Mark. Yes, him dead still.
Yeah,
is that right?
Right, yeah.
That bless him so. But anyhow, they help to symbolize that sports day. Cause it's when my never start blow the trumpet. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then they must start with the drum beat, man. Wickedness are gone, man. It's just it all collectively became a part of the culture and a part of the vibe and the feel that as Carol reminisce on it, it just those sounds and engagement just made it pretty special.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. And then Tony, you remember we used to have events at Randy Williams Center?
That's all right.
Margaret, do you remember those?
The barbecue.
Barbecue, yeah, man.
Barbecue.
Yeah, man. Those were some of the other fun
All right,
things
all
that
right.
we did.
All right. Tell me one performer. Tell me one or two performer perform for barbecue.
No, sir, me. I know I was modeling. I was that you was gonna come with.
You were modeling. Don't forget
Yes,
Ivor Johnson sang
Ivor
Bad Girl.
Johnson,
Diana Ross, Bad Girl.
bad girl, but
Um, Frankie Paul did perform for me 1 year. And
um,
who did sing the gun, the gun, the gun, it's a dangerous weapon?
I
Who did sing
don't.
that again?
Did we have Third World perform 1 year?
Third world performer at FET. Because
A fake. Yeah,
Benji
yeah,
was a Meadowbrook man, and because of
yeah.
Benji. No, not Third World, a Get Flat posse.
Get
Get
flat
Flat.
Oh,
plastic,
yeah.
right? With
Pub,
Bill Navis. Yeah, yeah.
The
Public,
Donovan, yeah.
public, and the Get Flat. Yeah,
Yeah,
because of Benji. They came and performed for us. 'Cause that was a Meadowbrook group.
yeah. So
But
that Randy Rhythm Center was fun. Those things were
you
fun.
better have your barbecue ticket too.
Yeah,
Talk,
man. But
talking
you know,
talking about
mm,
that, Carol. Which song you remember the most from Meadowbrook? With a local or overseas song? Which song you just sing them
oh,
days? I know you remember. Say, boy, you remember that. Meadowbrook, you remember.
oh, Jesus. No, I must have one way, but I'm saying, say, posse, every posse get flat,
Oh, every posse get
get
flat. Yeah,
flat.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, get flat. Every posse get flat. I
Mm.
think I can't. There's quite a bit. Because I remember one
Barrington
time we
leave you
went
the
through the
run during
disco.
our time too.
I remember when they go through the disco era where the guys would roll up the sleeve and
How do
stuff. So
you?
there was a lot of
Rhythm,
songs around. You
what kind of
rhythmic
road you
than
do
them
that?
quickly. Mm?
You roll up your sleeve, you get a
Hmm.
white rag, you stick it in your back pocket, and you get one of them black comb with a long angle, and you
Yeah.
put the comb behind your mother white rag. And
Hmm.
then, if you really have it together, you comb a wicked Napoleon, a man who
Yeah,
ear not
and
even
brush
grow
it.
back, a comb here. Make me call on the top of them head now because of Napoleon in a virgin.
And
Everybody have a
yeah,
black.
Tony have explained what Napoleon is, because people hear what Tony talk about. Explain what Napoleon is, Tony.
Well,
So back in you remember it, Carol? You remember it,
yeah,
Margaret?
Yeah,
comb
man.
here all the way back down
You had to comb your head from front
to
forehead
back.
all the way back to your neck.
Hmm.
And it was the black combs with the teeth. They call them disco comb, and you just comb your hair all the way back. Enough man I try extend the end
The
of the hair
hair, the
all
end
the
of the
way
hair.
down. I pick it and I dry it down, you know. I you know
That's
so
funny.
nothing if you never not follow in a brethren. And then
Yeah.
for top that off, so Meadowbrook man them did Chris. Cause Meadowbrook man them always with them white socks. The guys ahead of us and them suede shoes.
Mhm.
But when we hit second and third farm, a disco belt I lick, you know. Remember disco
And
belt, the canvas belt them?
Mm.
yep, yep. And
Enough man,
don't
no,
forget the ballerina. The
the
ballerina shoes.
ballerina,
Ballerina, yes, 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 yes.
white socks with ballerina.
Yeah,
Mike
yeah,
Carroll used to, how they are?
That's
yep.
And
a
you roll the sleeve up, you take your sleeve and you twist it one to the far end,
To the
and then you
far
get a
end.
tight fold. You get a tight fold and you fold it all the way up and
Pull
you
it all
disc
the way up.
sleeve that, how they are?
Yeah. So Jelly, in all reality, there wasn't any one particular song that I would say it was an era. It was just an era of songs.
yeah, man. So name some of them, man. Why you tell me some of the song them? See if them.
Jeez, no.
That name will come to your
But
mind, man.
Barrington leave, here I come, Carol.
Yeah, that was there. I wasn't ready. Now should have had this part. You should have sent me this part for prep. So I have my tunes ready.
You know, I'm have something to surprise you with. I want to tell you.
Oh, come. Boy, I can't remember any of the songs. And Margaret, help me now. Somebody can sing a song. No. Ah, no.
Luther
Eh,
Vandross. Luther had a song. I remember the ballerina posse danced it at barbecue 1 year. It's which song that again? You remember the ballerina posse?
no.
Yeah,
Tony,
man.
you remember them?
No, not too tough, you know.
Curtis Campbell,
Yes,
Oh,
Tarasi,
Maurice
yes.
Livingston,
yes.
Maurice
Philip
Hines,
Reed,
Peter
Yes.
Philippe,
Leon
yes,
Gross.
Tarasi.
Leandro, yes.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I don't remember the
It's which
song.
Luther Vandross song them is. One of them
Maurice.
disco.
But I remember my graduation song.
All right, tell me about that. What song that?
No, which one? Donna, is Donna Ross sing that one there?
Donna, do you know where you're
Do you
going
know
to? Do
where
you
you're
know the
going to?
things that
Yeah,
life is showing you?
showing you.
Where
Where
are
are
you
you
going
going?
to? Do you
Do you
know?
know?
Oh
Did you
Lord.
get what you're hoping for? When you look behind you, there's
Behind you,
no open
there's no
door.
open door. What are you hoping
Hoping for.
for?
Yes, good song,
Do
good
Well,
you
song.
well,
know?
well, did it, right? Well, I studied and make sure we could have sing at graduation night. Remember a man like Adrian Lee, or valedictorian, Donnet,
Mhm.
Donnet, Donnet Denton, our other
Denton.
valedictorian, Squitty. Oh man, it was just such a cool. Talk about graduation night, Carol. Talk about graduation night.
Oh, I must remember graduation night, Tony. I feel like you're throwing me out. You're throwing me out there for get something. Help me.
You remember going to the hotel in Stony Hills?
Oh, we had a graduation, well, a graduation party
Yes,
event or something of the sort. Yeah,
at the
but
hotel in Stony Hill.
yeah, that was up by Stony Hill. But then, of course, I think I vaulted that one too.
Mm.
You did what?
Vaulted it. I put it in the
Locked
vault.
away in memory, cannot
Oh,
remember.
okay.
She's playing the fifth. She's
Yeah,
playing the
plead the
fifth.
fifth. I hear you. Too much.
I,
Go ahead,
I
Tony.
don't remember. I cannot
I hear
recall. It
her.
was so long ago.
No, I got in the vault. Yeah,
No
yeah.
people listening on this call, and I don't want to go back there, because things have changed since then.
Okay. Maybe.
I hear her,
Lord,
Tony.
I pray I was
Hey,
good.
to that point, may I big up my man and Carol. I hope this is okay, because one of the coolest, most athletic man who never got Meadowbrook for the 5 years, but defined Meadowbrook, that was your teammate, Jelly, is someone that Carol knows quite well, and I'm gonna have to just give him enough respect. You know what I talk, Jelly?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The one and only, man.
The
Stanfield.
one and only,
Goosey
the
Brown,
one and
man.
only
Both
Goosey.
footballer and cricketer. And,
Man,
yeah, table
man
tennis
could play
player.
a track
Yeah.
star. Good champs, and could have excelled if him took it serious.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
On a long distance. Only man forget I return a competition.
Run for him money. Yeah, yeah,
Cricketer
yeah.
got called for all boys, right? After should have made the national team and got cheated out because we didn't have the respect that Stets had. And Manning Cup player, wicked on the wing back, play what, almost 3 years of Manning Cup, 2 years I think.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best all round athlete ever to go Meadowbrook.
In terms of the amount of sports him could have play. Yes, 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 yes.
TT as well. I'm just a cool Irish dude, man.
Yeah, man. Yes,
Fa-
yes.
Yeah.
I have to big him up, Tony. I have to big him up. I'm a virgin.
After.
My teammate, I'm a virgin, same. I say yes, yes. So I have to big him up. I have to. I have to give him
I
credit.
was the
Great.
I thought I was the coolest all-rounded player. Yes, there is mine. Like them squid for
male.
me now.
You're female. It's category,
No,
Carol.
but
You're
there's no
female. He's
category
male.
in my books. The category that are books. Crown me, man. Crown me.
Crown her, Tony.
You are you are crowned, Carrol Ann-Simpson. You are
Oh my
But
God.
talk about that, Carol. Let me ask you something, then. Because you say you're a captain in the netball team. You
Mhm,
became captain in the netball team. How did
mhm.
you feel when you became captain of a Meadowbrook netball team for the senior team?
Um, I, ooh, I guess it was just a natural progression because the girls looked to what I did on the on the court or in practice or whatever. So they just kind of listened to me. So it was a lot. It was just natural for them to just say, "Oh, that would be her," because she'll just lead us down the path. I was not like I said. I really honestly was not a talker. So it was more of we were
By
default.
inspiration, then is like them I look on you and say, boy, yeah, she good.
Right. They knew that if I was giving 100%, then it would look funny if they didn't give 100%. So our team never really. I think anybody at that point could have been the team captain, but back then I guess they started looking at whoever the most talented player, them just give it to. I would say.
no, Carol. You led on the field. You led on the field. when it came to the field, you're an emotionally engaged in the sport, and you delivered by your action, and you inspired the team. You led
Mhm.
on the field. Don't cut yourself short, my girl.
Yeah, she like to value herself too, and have to make sure she don't mess
It's
up.
humility. It's just her humility. She
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
help
yeah, yeah,
herself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're right about that, Tony. Because when she send me her
Yeah.
bio, it's like she said nothing. I say, I mean, nothing. And that me I say to myself, you captain the team, and you play for Jamaica as a schoolgirl. I say, and a big things that, a big things that, man.
I
Uh,
remember bragging that
mhm.
because here I would see her on TV too. Because when sports are run, you'd see her on TV representing the national team. I said, Carol there, she go make
Mm.
a
But
sense
she,
of pride, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of the quiet leader, I suppose. I don't
mm.
walk out there with the thing. That's why I'm glad they didn't have things like armbands on them some of the time because I would have been more embarrassed. But people say, "Oh, that's the captain," blah blah blah.
Oh, I got you,
But
I
I
got
did
you.
this,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, yeah. So I was a quiet leader. And,
yeah.
like again, the team was such a family-oriented team. Like we knew everybody. Like Stampy and I was really, really close. I think I was telling Margaret this other day. I remember after I leave, we moved from Marlene Gardens and I had to go live with my mom in Vineyard Town area. Stampy lived over in Almond Town.
Oh, it's
So, which
Stampy.
is,
What is it?
I'm
Stampy?
sorry, Michelle Stamp. She was on the
Okay,
netball team.
okay. Mm-hmm.
And when bus strike, we somehow we would find out we get to hitch a ride or get us. I don't know how we get there. We got to Crossroads. We'd walk from Crossroads together
Mm-hmm.
and past camp and stuff, go by because she was behind, like live behind Savannah Park, and I would just turn off and go into the Vineyard Town area. So we became really close. So it was that was just an example of how all of us on the netball team was close. Even now, Michelle Darian and I we talk, and so it was just a close knit unit, and
Yes.
that's what made it easy to lead.
Yes,
Um,
sports tend to do that, Carl, as we talked about earlier. Sports is like,
mhm.
you keep in touch with the sports people more than anybody else. The people when you play team sports with.
Oh yeah,
That's why the 80s groups are active, and most of the cricketers them who they play in the footballers them are part of that group there. Because it is a
yeah,
powerful
man.
thing. The team connection
It
they get,
came
yeah.
across. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm have to talk about that because a lot of people, them days, I might undervalue it and think some why. For it parents upon a whole, like focus more on academics than on sports. I say no. You have do the
Mm.
two of them. That's something I look upon it. You can't, because sports open some doors I talked about earlier. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
definitely,
so anytime you get the opportunity
definitely.
to talk about it, I have to talk about it openly and just make people know. Say, if the child don't want to play, that's okay. You can't force somebody for the run attack. But if they want to play, encourage them, man, and don't stop them and stifle them.
No, I think it is important if a child wants to be involved with sports and it's a team sport, especially, and that may because I have a love for the team sport because like now I coach, right? So I am a assistant coach for the high school team here, and I've been doing it for I would say just today we're talking to the girls. I was almost 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
but coaching the whole basketball. Some of the girls on the team were just it's high school. Some of them just not good, but they need to be a part of the team.
Yeah.
So and being a part of the team, it helps them even with their schoolwork. So it helps them with their self confidence too, because sometimes they're going through school and they don't have a lot of friends, but because they're on the team, everybody say, "Oh, you're on the basketball team," and all of a sudden they're somebody, they're seen,
Yeah, man.
right?
Develop them
So
identity, Carol.
yeah,
That's the right
develop
word.
all of that,
Yep.
and it
Life
and it
skills.
develops them in school too because we have study hall because when our practices would be later in the day they have to go to study hall and they can't but you can't go home, so in study hall you have to do your homework and all of that stuff, so then you have to stay on and you have to stay on top of them, and that's something that we instill in them, and that's something I got when I was playing college ball. Like when I was in college, the coach would come with a performance review thing, and we had to hand it to the teachers, and the teachers had to fill it out and give it back. And
Mm-hmm.
them other times they have to say, Jesus, I only hope I did good in this class, or I did the class, the test I'm good. But they would, write it back, and coach. That's how they would keep track. So
Mm-hmm.
you keep your GPA at a level because you can't drop too far down, or it makes you ineligible, right? So those are some stuff. Even when I still had 2 years eligibility left to play, and coach was like, I know I pay for grad school. So my classes were at night. So the team decided that, hey, it's okay, we'll practice after your class. So it's that's whole the team concept. But I was in college, and they had their classes early in the morning, majority of them. But they were cool with that. And then I think, then I was captain too. So I guess people see something in it that end up giving me captain at some point. But but the thing is that it sets you up for more things in life, right? So going even into the workforce or into just life in general, you realize as a team player or a sports person that you're going to go through hits and bumps in the road, right? You have to get up and keep going. And like I said earlier, I think I said this, you keep going until the whistle ends. And our coach would say to us when I was in college, I take this all the way through. If the ball is on the floor, you got to get on the floor. It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
So you just if you're not in it, you can't get an opportunity to come up out of it, right? So
where you learn that attitude at Carrol? Where you got that attitude from a play sports at Meadowbrook, where you learn, so you leave everything on the field if you compete, the competitive attitude. That me a year now, you.
Oh, it started at Meadowbrook. It definitely started at Meadowbrook. Because and it bloomed more because we had such a huge company. We played schools. I think in our league we had Holy Child, so funny enough. Arden, let me see, I'm trying to think of the other one. Immaculate, Queens, Margaret. And those girls, Queens, they acted like they were the elite of people, So we would go in there with determination to beat them. So that competitiveness kind of started there. And then when our first game, I think we lost to Arden, as a team, we kind of said, no, we have to do better. We don't have to do this, we have to do that. So all of that started there, how to get better and all that stuff.
Let me ask you another question and move on. What the best learning experience you get from going to Meadowbrook?
Knowing how to communicate with everybody, all aspects across the board, every individual. Meadowbrook was such a huge melting pot, right? So you have the rich, the middle, the poor, just everybody. And we just saw each person as humans. And I keep coming back to this whole family thing because that's what I got from Meadowbrook. And that's what I took with me the whole time. Because even now, everybody that I've connected and I've kept in touch with Meadowbrook has been family. To me, it's the family. Like, I pick up myself and go to Key West to go visit Margaret. When Florida, go visit Margaret and we'll go Margaret, Key West, and just act the fool because that's family, So that's just it in a whole nutshell.
The family.
Can I ask how you two met? Do you remember what was your relationship like with you two at Meadowbrook? And obviously it matured after school, but what was it like at school and how did that progress?
Oh, Margaret?
Yeah,
Margaret.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, you go
Margaret was years ahead. Margaret was ahead of me now, years ahead of me.
One year. 1 year.
Thank you, Tony.
1 year. And to add to that, Margaret repeated. So then we became in the same year.
Right. Exactly.
Anyhow.
Thank you, Tony. Anyway.
You answer that here, Margaret. Come on, she'll come age you for. I want to her.
Right?
Years ahead.
You see the trouble, you see the love give trouble that come out too.
Anyway, at Meadowbrook, you hear Carol says she's an introvert. I considered myself an introvert as well. But I literally feel like I knew everybody. And I didn't necessarily have conversations with everybody, but I heal up everybody, had a casual relationship with everybody. Now, how we got a little closer was through Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Facebook,
Yeah.
After school.
just connect people. Or we just found each other, I guess. And when I say each other, I don't just mean Carol. I mean a whole Meadowbrook crew from different
Genres, yeah.
age groups.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have Meadowbrook friends from the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. And you would think I knew them at school. Mm-mm. Just connect. Just the same family thing where, as I say all the time, if you went to Meadowbrook, we're a family and that's just it. You just connect.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened. Andrea Lawful Sanders
Mm-hmm.
and Carol connected.
I think I lost it.
You're there?
Yeah, man, we're
Mm-hmm.
there, man. Yeah, we're there, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
remember when she came to Georgia and she had some flight issues and you helped her out or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So after that happened is when we kind of all connected. We got a little bit closer. So when Andrea said she was coming to visit and Carol said, all right, may I come too? And then the three of us ended up in Key West acting the
Yeah.
fool, as Carol said. Two of them a
Yeah.
climb tree and a run down foul and all them stuff there.
Well.
So, like, try and keep that in the closet, Margaret.
Shall I catch
Yeah.
foul? Shall I catch foul?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I climb tree.
So, like, you know
It
what
was
I
just
what I want to tell you, you know what?
it was just in the moment. It was just in the moment.
Yes, we hear you. We hear you, man. Those are the best times, Carl. Don't
Those
worry.
are the best
Yeah.
Yes,
times.
in
Yeah,
the
man.
moment. Yeah, man. Now your real self, that man.
Yeah, but
And
I
Carl,
do remember Margaret from school because it was Margaret and Andrea and another friend that they are there, and they were just the educated ones. That's what I would say. They would
I don't
because
believe they just said that.
let me
Margaret
tell you
was
something.
quiet. She was quiet.
Quiet. When you walk past them, and you listen to the conversation. Tony, you know this. They can get in some deep, deep debates in stuff. If it's politics or something, they are on it. And I just quietly take myself from it. But because they get really into it. Their discussions were healthy discussions, good discussions.
She was always conversing. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, they were. So I remember them.
Carol, you knew. For some reason, I seem to have vivid memories of you and Andrea Lawful together.
Yeah, I knew
Um,
Andrea from then. Yeah, I knew her from
yeah,
then.
yeah. And when we were
Especially
in fourth
after you
form,
realized that our cousin was our cousin.
Listen, man, I said that's something dear.
talk about that. Talk about
A
that.
certain cousin Andrea have, yeah, come by, and boy, the whole netball team did carry on away a very certain cousin. Yeah, Mhm. But yeah, that's it.
You hear how she just glossed over it, Tony?
I never know
No, but
Andrea cousin that went to Meadowbrook.
No, went to
no.
Calabar.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, got it, got it.
She's
Very, very, very
she's a
nice
glass
cousin.
over tea, Margaret.
Very
Mm-hmm.
nice cousin. Very nice
But
cousin.
Andrea was very detailed about it in her
Yes,
podcast.
yes, yes. In a few hour
Andrea said Carol
conversation.
never used to pay her no mind until she realized that her cousin was
Cousin
our
that, yeah,
cousin.
yeah.
All of a sudden, they were best
I
friends.
tell Andrea the wickedest thing because I knew Andrea well enough, but Andrea, as she said, she was more quiet, more reserved, reserved, which is so weird, as you would say, Andrea. Now you know her now.
Yep,
She wasn't exactly reserved, but like I said, Andrea would hang out. It's near the library. Most of them discussions would carry on,
yep,
and
yep.
you when you see them there, you know them in a deep, deep talk. So you go, you say, hey, you hang out for a little bit, but after a while, I just moved on,
Yeah,
and
the library was the place to go. There was a great tradition to that, man. We had our discussions in the library, so I know what I'm talking about. Yes.
But our fourth form classroom was on top of the library,
on
so
top of the
that just
library. Mm.
became our hangout area.
Yeah.
And like Jelly, when I did my podcast, I told you that Andrea Lawful, when me go school, Andrea Lawful said, Tony, come here, lay back in my lap. and Andrea would have get her alcohol and her cotton, and if she never bust blackhead, you see. I've, and I remember
Lord
being in the
Jesus.
moment and saying, "This is good." The Calabar man and JC man, them not have nothing like this.
Nothing
I'm
at
gonna go
all.
back to my Calabar. I'm gonna say this is good. I come school and you have girl will come get a facial and bust blackhead and clean up your face and
Mm.
me and Andrea usually have some deep conversations too now. Some deep conversations. And so it enriched the quality of life of what Meadowbrook was because people like Margaret, Carrol Ann-Simpson, Angela Lawful. It was just good, clean vibes.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you another question, and this apply to all of we now, because bearing in mind, and we all know the disturbing thing we saw upon the news about Meadowbrook this week. And one message we have for existing students of Meadowbrook or future students of Meadowbrook. We're going to hear
Boy,
this
you have to
message.
inform me about
Enlighten me,
what
Jelly, because I don't know what happened.
what happened.
Tony, you know what happened? Margaret, you saw the video going making the rounds?
I refused to watch it, but I saw the beginning of it. But I know what happened.
Disturbing Tony. I was sending Tony afterward, where a group of girls a fight and it posted on social media about a 1 minute video. It make CVM news, nationwide news.
It started with 2 people fighting, and about 20 ended up in the melee, for want of a better word.
It was a brawl.
Yes, and I understand that 20 people were suspended because of it.
And they were fighting over a girl. Just look upon it now. A fight over boys. Girls, disturbing, Tony. Very disturbing for we who go to school and see it. Carol, same thing. It's like I say. Where we go, and you have to look on and say it's like when you ask this question, I never even realize that's irrelevant in terms of say what can we do as past student for turn that around, because there's a culture there that needs to be turned around. Because when the student can embarrass themselves that way, they embarrass we. That's embarrassing to us. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say the best way is to offer some mentoring, because them need some mentors, man. For them to behave like that, it's obvious that them don't have the right foundation.
This here
something is missing, because for you go school and behave like that in school,
You know,
we wouldn't even imagine something like that.
I would also say, guys, and this is a grim reality, times have changed.
True.
Right? Social media have made give everybody a platform of expression and sharing, right?
Yeah.
Times have changed. And be clear, the demographic mix of Meadowbrook has changed significantly. You know, we talk about this melting pot we had. Meadowbrook was an elite private school, not private, but an elite small school first that had a certain mix. And when we got into the late 70s, early 80s, it started changing and growing. And where it is now is that growth model that has grown out where it's way more integrated.
Yeah.
And with that comes just different people from different background. And I don't know, I'm ignorant. I don't want to pretend to act like I know what's going on there, but things have changed, mix have changed, social media has changed.
You know, one of the biggest changes, Tony, is the leadership of the school and the discipline that they instill. Remember how Spanner used to have way unlock?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same. It's the same anymore.
And you have to be careful with that
generation,
too, because the generation has changed. And Margaret, the reason I'm saying that, because there are teachers at Meadowbrook that we know now are trying their very best.
No, I don't mean
they don't have the empowerment, they don't have the funds, and they don't have the institutional leadership that our group of faculties had. And we are just, I'm pointing fingers at me, we're just as guilty now. They didn't at the time even have a robust past student association. Meadowbrook is in need of more help now than they ever have. And so I agree that they don't have that institutional leadership that was there. with somebody who was tenured 20 years span on Miss Morrison and Miss Headlam. You know, that institutional, it's just a different time, but the student mentality is also different. 20 something girls fighting in a
I
brawl.
Listen,
right. Let me
I'll
tell
say
you
this.
why I said that.
Mhm.
About 5 years ago, my niece passed to go to Meadowbrook. And my nephew, who had just graduated from Meadowbrook, insisted that she not go there. And I was very upset. And he said to his mother, my sister, do not send Ayana there. It's not the same school that you went to. He said the discipline is deplorable. There's no discipline. And some of the things that happened there, he wouldn't even talk about it. But
Yeah.
he refused to have his
You
sister
know,
attend Meadowbrook, that we went to, me and my sister, who is their mother, and that he was graduating from.
Go
Different
ahead,
school.
Carol. Let me hear what you have to say. I've heard it since, because I have something to say about this, because I think about solution. But go ahead, Carol.
unfortunately, it's a disturbing trend in the country, in Jamaica, among high schools, where they're just people. It's everybody fighting, and they put it, and it's videotaped and stuff. There was a case where, at a high school, one girl stabbed another
Yeah,
one
yeah.
and
That's it.
died.
Kingston Technical. Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's not just high schools. It's just schools in general. It's just a disturbing trend of this generation there,
Yep.
and it's not just
Yep.
there. It's also here because I see it
Yeah,
Yep.
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
street
yeah.
Yep.
that I'm
Yep.
at.
Yep. Yep.
So mentorship is one thing. The I this is just a is this it's a missing thing within the generation, and I want to say some of it is parenting.
I agree
It
Um,
on
is.
that.
It is.
and
It is.
because our generation, I knew, like I said, when I was sitting in Spanner office that time, and I wasn't even concerned what you're gonna tell me about my White Sox. My mind was saying, "What? Why if my aunt, if my we don't want my auntie come up here?" That fear of that. So because of the parenting, and I've seen, like, we have children raised, young mothers, young fathers, um, absent, not present. These are the things that they're faced with
Yep.
there. And then, as to tack on what Tony said with the social media, it makes it seem it hypes up these kids, right? So it seems like it empower them to do stuff and to do the wrong things, and they think it's okay and it's fun and it makes them popular.
It's
So
trending. So
yeah,
so
and it's a
they're
trend.
Them get a
they're
likes.
no longer. That's right. They're no, not even that. They are what's the word I'm saying? They're immune to it. They don't have the shock. It doesn't have the shock
Yeah.
value it once did. It's happening at other
Right.
schools. It's a
Mhm.
It's not a
commonplace.
Meadowbrook thing. It's
De
not a Meadowbrook thing. Me
desensitized.
agree though. Me
They're
agree though.
No, it's
desensitized
yeah,
to
it's
it.
across. Yeah, it's across the thing. And so even if we try to say leadership, leadership hands are somewhat tied because how can they face this Red Sea that's coming?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they they you can't instill discipline and structure like how we were used to it.
No, no.
I remember prep school. There was caning. I think Spanny used to slap with our hands just every now and then. Um, you can't do that. Some of these kids, you can't talk to them. So
Yeah, it's a
it,
different.
it,
It's
it's
a different challenge. It's a different challenge
yeah,
for
it's a
us.
totally different challenge. But I do think that to get the school back to where it could be is, and I believe Raj had touched on it a little bit. I'm sorry, Brigadier
Raj,
Mason
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Is to, and Margaret briefly said it, is to, we need some sort of mentorship program
All
set
right,
in place so they can see.
let me jump in this now, because I got
Yeah.
this idea from. This is not my idea. A lot of things we talk about, me hear other people say it and I just cannot say it. Salome was on the program. Saleh. I say her
Mm-hmm.
name right, Margaret. That's Saleh or
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
Salome.
Yeah, man.
Salome.
Yeah, yeah, so mm-hmm.
And she talked about, say, she was in Jamaica for a couple of weeks, and she took a little boy, I think it was, and to have him run a travel with her.
Not just her, it was the group
A
of
group of them,
Meadowbrook
I
kids.
travel with them for
Yeah.
the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
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 And it changed how she looked. It changed, it make her feel good, and it made the student feel good, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then about a week later, a former head girl at Meadowbrook, and she active in the past student thing to Donna.
Philibert.
Yeah, Donna White Philibert, right? And me and her was talking, and they said, me tell her about us alone, I say, but this is something where, and someone will come up with it in my mind. It don't set up it or nothing. And me and her talk about it, and she said, it's almost like you want to set up a program where a man they are foreigner, so I'm go down and I'm just going to spend 15 minutes and buy lunch with one of the students. Or I'm sending money to a man at Jamaica and say, let's go buy lunch with a student for the day. It not cost him much, But just it's almost like old student just start. And it have to be in a structured way, I don't want the man, I hear this. Because I don't set up it and say, I'm just going to walk going to the school. It have to set up in a way, a man is you have to vet him, you have to invite him, and he might come in, and all him come to, or he or she, or man, I send a money guy, man, Tony, and just go buy a lunch for the youth the day, or the girl the day, and talk to them. Tell them what you used to do when you go to school. Make them feel proud about the school. And say,
But
that's the only way we can change this, It can't change.
But sometimes it's not about the funding, Sometimes it's just your presence, because
that's why I want to do it that way. That's why I'm just want to go spend a 2 party them want and buy. It's not for the buying a big lunch them or go sit down with them the day. Your presence, exactly. A lunch present you want every day. Yes.
And just have some conversations, right?
Yeah, man. No.
Yeah, it's conversations, and like Raj had said, I'm sorry, I know him as Raj.
You can say that's fine. You can say Raj.
So as he said, is that if they have to see where they can go, because sometimes their seeing is limited, and some of them have on the blinders, and some of them they only see their immediate environment, which is home or just a school structure. They don't know, they can't see that the different paths that I can go, right? And so years ago, I thought about this idea about having what I call the fireside chat. So you have a group of people, a group of past students or such in positions, and I think they did something similar one year when COVID was there.
But
to
that
talk with them.
That can work. I love the idea that too. But me want to be an ongoing thing.
Right. It's an ongoing stuff, right?
And just anybody just register on a site you set up and say I go down there for the day. You send a money go give a man and say go spend the lunch money with the girl or the boy. And you go through the school and do it. They go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
So no. So, as you guys know, sometimes school is the only parental control some kids have as Carol was talking about the family structure, right? So this thing is bigger than just the school. However, what Meadowbrook had was a uniqueness in a sense of culture where people, even though you're a man, say, we come from Reman, Tivoli, but when we go Meadowbrook, how many people say that to you, Jill? I saw a different lifestyle and it helped me to understand, look up and think different, right?
Yes.
Was different. And we asked this question on one of your podcasts, if Meadowbrook still had that same connection. And when I was down there for the reunion, I met a young man that was, I think, a former head boy. And I could sense and feel the same sense of Meadowbrook culture in him, mannerism and sense, right? So it doesn't mean things have changed. The world has changed from when we were in school almost 40 years ago, right? And we can't expect culture is a thing if not infuse and maintain it. It will change and culture evolve over time. And what we're witnessing is more of a macro cultural change in society. But still, the Brigadier Raj is absolutely right. Consistent mentorship can help to curb that.
Yeah, man.
But it has to be long term. It can't just.
It's almost like I want a program I set up. It's like it's never ending. It's like a part of the curriculum where
it has to be part from first form to fifth form.
I talk part of the curriculum for old students, and I say as a man, as a ritual, them know say. You might have got send a money give a man for go spend lunch with you tomorrow. But when them go to Jamaica, and make it a point for go spend 50 minutes at the school with one student. And trust me.
Jelly, I would take it even further in saying, we need to I said, no man, where's past students and And we're not being disrespectful to the people who work hard on a bus but at Meadowbrook. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is we value what Meadowbrook was, right? But if you want to institutionalize this thing, it starts from the onboarding, from the
Yeah,
orientation. You
yeah, yeah,
ask
yeah,
people
Yeah.
what
yeah,
them
yeah.
feel the first day them come school, and that help to establish your expectation and how you
Yeah,
behave
yeah,
and how
yeah.
you conduct yourself. So it has to be this system, and we're outside casting stones, right? But it has to be a system that starts from when you're on board, first farm, second farm. Oh, the role prefects used to play to help
Yeah.
curb. It has to be it has to be systematically infused at different levels all the way up to make it cultural. Where if two people go and fight, me fight at school or not, me fight, and here's a wild man actually help me out for not going to Spanner office. I don't think she remember that. And she and Curtis, Noah, bless his soul
Yeah,
too.
bless him soul. Yeah, yeah.
Um, Alfonso. But the two of them, but the fear that prefects were so empowered helped me to curb my behavior. See me? So it's not it's having that support cast system that institutionalizing the whole process from teacher to student body, from orientation to senior leadership. And it's going to take Angela, you and I talking about this massive overall of how does a school overall itself and get the support it need and the financing it need to really grow. Because the school is struggling right now from a financial point of view. It's struggling from a resource point of view. It's struggling from a old boy, old girl support point of view. And if it hadn't been for some man like Siadi and a man in
The New
Canada,
York chapter. The New
the
York
New York
chapter.
chapter, and
Yeah, and
my
the
boy from
Canadian
Canada,
chapter.
Swap,
Swaby,
Swaby.
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 Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Swaby with
Those
the
guys,
Canadian
those
chapter.
two individuals have done, and not by themselves, it's a whole team, but those two individuals have done so much. But it's like them a put them finger in a hole, and as them pluck one hole, something that's a bust out, and then put the finger for sap,
Yeah,
there's something that's a
yeah.
bust out.
Well,
So
I give it.
it needs a
Tony, I
massive,
stop. I jump in here, Tony, for a second.
yeah,
So I
man.
would say it's a chapter. It's a chapter, right? So it's a New York chapter, and it's everybody up there right now. I think the president is still Nadine Moulton. So the chapter has everybody. So they do everything, and every year they take on a challenge. At one point, we did the chairs and the desk and chairs, and then we
Some
did
of
the
them
lab,
know
and then
if
so
it
we're doing
had not been for them, them doing a lot.
yeah, and then you remember one time we did the security, the fencing and stuff. So the New York chapter itself, because I'm a part of it, behind the scene part, and we have those who live in Florida and those who live in, everybody try to get involved in it. Um, and then you have the Canadian chapter that does their part, and I believe Swabia and the Canadian chapter has a lunch thing. I'm not sure if it's still, Margaret, you know if it's still up and running?
I'm not sure. I
Yeah,
think so, but I'm not sure.
so they do a
And we
lunch
have some
thing,
individuals down here in Florida too that they're not a part of any
any
of the
chapter.
chapters,
Hmm.
but they do some sponsorships.
Yeah,
They
so
do, yeah, do.
there's things that's happening like, and I have hosted back to
And
back, I think, the robotics team. So there's some good students there. So
There's some good stuff. There's some
we can
we
reach
can.
them.
And Carol, I don't want to de-emphasize. I want to be very clear in saying, and I have to give
Mhm.
Nadine props for all the hard work she did. Had it not been for those efforts to those chapters, Meadowbrook would be in a worse position,
Worst
even in that
position. I
distance
agree.
with transportation. And I can't say
And the
enough,
bus, yeah.
yeah, about what these guys are doing. But the point I'm making is, it's just putting band-aids over, and without them the demise would be worse, but there needs to be a more long term, and again, I don't know how it's done. And Jill, I know you have had some conversations hoping to put together some stuff, but it's gonna require, what I'm saying basically, it's gonna require a much heavier and harder lift to get Meadowbrook back to where it was. And people, all the way on this call right now, busy people with our own challenges, our own life. So
Hmm.
who is going to have the resources and the time to pull it together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a require, but it's like you gotta try to turn on the Titanic before it lick the iceberg, and that's not an easy thing
Right.
at all. Not an easy thing, but we can try. And just I'm gonna want to
Oh,
dwell upon it too much because it's not. I mean, when I talk about this, we not blame nobody. I will never do that at
No,
all
no,
because
because Meadowbrook is not unique to it.
no,
You know,
right, right. And
it's
when I
not,
started
it's
at
not
No,
the
you know
changed.
what? When I said leadership, I wasn't just talking about the leadership at the school.
Mm-hmm.
It got right through up to the Ministry of Education,
Yeah,
Yep.
because
yeah.
there are some things that are happening now where parents are saying, "Oh, you can't do this," and them don't want them child to do this. Something as simple as a school uniform. They're complaining about things
The
that
length of
we,
the uniform and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, and that's a part of the discipline. That's
Yep.
a
Yep.
part of instilling
Yep.
a certain level of
yeah,
responsibility
yeah.
and
That that
self-respect and that
that
kind of stuff. And the
Yep.
parents are fighting against it, and then you have the people in the leadership who are kind of just wishy-washy,
They're
and
just there for it now. They're just there
yeah,
for the paycheck now.
they're not willing to say, no, listen, this is what we have in place, this is the reason it's there, and we're not going to budge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different
is that
time.
is that
It's a
tough? It's a
different
different
time.
time too, man. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
tough
a
battle.
different time, Tony,
But
but this is where it starts. You remember when
yeah, go ahead,
if you
Margaret.
have,
Finish up.
yeah,
No
your
one finish up.
uniform is supposed to mean something.
Yes.
Just wearing that, and you have children right now whose uniform means something to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a
So
question
although
for
it's a
you.
different time, we still have
Imagine,
people who have self-respect, respect them
Margaret,
environment, respect them school. So
Margaret,
it's
you're
not like,
absolutely right.
yeah,
You're
so it's not
absolutely
like
right.
it's
But
undoable.
to your point, though, this question supports the point you're making. When you go to Immaculate High School, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you walk Immaculate High School campus, and you see the institutional leadership, I'm not saying things haven't changed from where Immaculate was in the 80s or the 70s, but they were able to maintain it, right? I'm just
Mm-hmm.
using that one school because it's sacred to them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm supporting what Margaret is saying. There needs to be that strong institutional leadership, that sense of behavior. If you walk into a PF Chang restaurant, a US comparison, I'm sorry, you behave
That's
different than
fine.
how you walk into a Burger King or a Popeye, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's
Amen.
expectation, there's
Exactly.
expectations in how you manage, and if other schools can do it, we can. But what
Exactly.
I'm saying is it can't be the band-aid. It has to be like you have to rip it off and have a plan
And it's not a
and have
short term.
Right.
mentorship. It's not a short term.
And I
It's
think,
not.
I don't want to dwell upon this too much because we talk about this the whole night. Because I think what Margaret said, I'm going to leave it right there. So it started a conversation. Let us set up a system where we as one student who go through certain things and love the school start having conversation, regular one-on-one conversation with the student. It's not impossible for do. It can do
It's
personal, it can do online.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
start have the conversation with the student them Tony. And just set
Well,
up a
it ties back to what Raj was saying too.
yeah,
That
yeah.
they need to see the presence
Yeah man.
and see where they can go.
Yeah.
Without vision, people perish,
That's
and that
right.
is
yeah,
really what's
yeah.
going on. They just cannot see where they're going or
So
what the
And
possibilities
so
are for them.
may I put this out there? Because this conversation now come out in another couple of weeks. Well maybe because we'll have a conversation on it. So this now going to reach the airwave until maybe the infrastructure in place where we can start have the conversation physically and spot at the school and
Mm.
online. Because I think that will turn on the Titanic.
the only thing I'd add to that, Jelly, is we have to. For me, it's about strategy and long term and planning. We have to
Mhm.
complement that with some other things, and we have to know where we're going,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And it starts with leadership,
Mhm.
empowering them, helping them so that they can maintain it. You have to have the right people
Yeah.
who get it and leading and carrying it, but they have to have help. They have to
Yeah,
have
True.
help.
yeah.
So anyhow, there needs to be a strategic plan for all of this, of which the mentorship is part of it. But anyhow, we have robbed
Our
Miss
special
Simpson of
guest.
her
Yes.
time. So make we come off of this and go
Yeah,
back
exactly.
to
No,
our
this is
host of the day.
no Robin here. No, no Robin there. This is something that I am also very much passionate about. So it's okay. Okay to have the conversation. Right.
All right, thank you. Thank you for indulging us.
Yeah, man. Not a problem at all. I mean, it's kids, and like I said,
Yeah, man.
They're the next level, and I
Yeah, man.
mean,
Yes,
it's sad
exactly.
to see them.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I wish I could do more, but it's just
But
you
it
know,
starts with the conversation, though. Can nothing start without a conversation. And
That's
yeah.
right.
I think that is what just think of what happened, you know. It's a fight start, and only reason a fight starts is because the conversation stopped.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason
Yeah.
why people fight, you know, because the conversation has stopped. And that is that's a Meadowbrook problem, though. That's a Jamaican problem.
No. It's not just a Jamaica
It's a world
problem.
problem, right? Thank you,
It's
Carol.
because it's here. I
It's a
see it
world
here
problem.
on
I
a
agree with you.
regular.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Thank you for correcting that
So,
for me. Well, let
yeah.
me ask you another question, though. Let me ask you that question now. Because simply as you
Mm,
take it
oh,
yourself, I
back to
always say,
me now.
yes, you may come back. Well, you know. You think me forget about you?
You might already say, "Oh, I liked it when it wasn't on me."
I come here and think saying I have not much to talk about, and I must two over there talk, Margaret.
No, our
And she,
last 30 minutes was not me.
no,
Sorry.
that's not
Last 30
true.
minutes was not me.
When this come out, you will hear it, and so may I say. But you have a question to you now. You have a question to you, and this go to. I think I asked Margaret this question already, and Tony. But if me never ask him this question on the guy side. But Ian Chung give me that question here. I'm gonna start with you, Carol. How does it make you
Mercy.
feel? I bring up back all the Meadowbrook memories after almost 40 years. I talk about the Meadowbrook memories. How it make you feel?
Um, hmm. But I've been living the memories for because just reconnecting with a lot of people. I've been living the memories throughout the last couple of years. So this platform is more people knowing me, I guess. And I'm hearing and knowing like other people that you've had on the platform itself. I'm like, oh, that's how that person was, or I'm hearing more fun things about them or other parts of their life that I didn't see or knew or could relate to. So, but the memories have always been there. And that as long as I connect, and when we connect, even I think one year, Tony, have I been at a Meadowbrook reunion when you were there?
New York. We were
You,
together in New York.
the first one,
Um,
right?
the second one, I think you were there.
When it first started out as a little place
Yeah,
in
yeah.
yeah,
We're at Desi's house. I remember being at Desi's house and you
yeah,
were there.
yeah,
The great Desi. Great.
yeah. And so I always have these things. It's a part of my life, technically. Like I got on the phone with Desi the other day, and it was 2 hours later or 3 hours later. And so the one thing about this whole Meadowbrook memories is that it lives inside of me on the by reaching out and hearing from everybody. So I think that answers it.
Yeah, man. Yes. And Margaret, did you ever answer that question? How it make you feel? You did answer that question already. Or if you have anything you want to add to that question, you go ahead. Margaret, I wonder if you can.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was there talking, not realizing that I was
You're
mute.
mute, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did answer it before, but I have something else
Yeah.
because initially I said that it took me back to a very warm and fuzzy place,
Mhm.
you know. But in for the in the past few months, what I've learned about a lot of my friends and classmates give me a new perspective
Yeah.
on who they are and a new respect for a lot of them who are overcomers. And I had no idea.
Thank you,
Some of the
Margaret.
stuff that they've been through and survived and just excel. It makes me feel good. Makes me feel very good. And I'm also very happy that we have this platform and that it's going to be here forever. We're losing people, and
Yes.
being able to go back and listen to some of their voices, if they're not here, will be a blessing.
Some voice are there forever, Margaret.
Yeah, man.
You're right
Yeah.
about that. Them come and tell them story. Like, that's why I'm glad you come, Carol.
Margaret come with the same selling line, you know. It just sell me, you know.
But I'm a lie.
Oh,
I'm a lie. Where I tell you. When the student, as a matter of fact, when the student start hears them conversation, it might change their mentality and their attitude about life and everything. Because just like
yeah.
Margaret I say, hear some of the story of them and the struggle man go through after school and during school and the move come.
Yeah, and come in and do them work and play sports and achieve.
Yeah, man.
Coming from nothing, many of us.
Yeah, man.
Coming from zero.
Yeah, man. Sometimes
So,
we hear some of the story, you're surprised and say, boy, the man come and
yeah,
school
man.
without lunch money, I never know.
Exactly. No books.
No book, you don't know.
And
Yeah,
them exams and move on to university.
Yeah.
Yeah. You talk about no lunch money. I mean, I have to give props to Pekka, and there are times, many times, if for the next generation who will never know Pekka. I remembered when we finally honored him at one of the what we had. It was a 1 year the Meadowbrook thing in Jamaica and reunion in Jamaica. And we honored Pekka. That was Pekka in my time was a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I sit there and I think to myself, how did this man, even know that I know myself and working and all, he couldn't have been making any money. The Pekka give us so much food.
Yeah.
Well, we're there. But he did it really just every single day he would show up, you know, and, you know, and he knew the kids who had no money. He knew the ones that would be hungry, and he was there and he provided, you know. So Pekka was a legend. Is there?
It was a blessing. Enough man eat because I am. And Pekka knew you. Well said, Carol. He knew and understood, and built his own relationship with different students. You know.
Yeah.
With different generation of students too. It's like
as a grown man.
Yeah. It was a special Meadowbrook person.
I remember that the reunion when they told him, his family, that we wanted to honor him, and we were gonna. I don't know if Tony, if you were at that reunion or not, but it was
I was not.
So we had the cadet. Two of the cadet guys were there waiting at the side of the stage, like right a little step up stage to it. And he was elderly, of course, at the time because his kids and said, you know, you sure? And he said, yeah, he wants to go. And he came dressed, suited out and everything. And they said that the cadet guys would carry him up on the stage. And he said, no, he'll walk. He was proud to walk on the stage, the Meadowbrook stage. And he made his way up the steps and stuff. And just the fact that everyone who was there, including Dr. Morrison, she was there too at the time, we stood up and applauded. Just a humble man who
that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. He provided food for those who didn't have it. He knew those who, you know, it was amazing.
Carol.
So that's about the story.
Hold on, Tony. I said something to Carol. This is a story I just said a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Will be worth the price of admission for you come tell that story about Pekka. No, I tell you this with all honesty.
No, seriously. That's huge, man.
That story
I agree.
Because I never heard it before, you know. I did not
Me
hear
either.
it before. I know Pekka was on that, but I never hear the detail where you tell me, you know Pekka. Because Pekka mean I would have to say, you could have talk about it in a certain way.
Yeah, he wanted to walk from his chair to climb up the little we had some steps going up to the stage in the front of the stage, and he wanted to do it, and the cadets were there to escort him, just to guide him up, and he didn't want him to hold him. He wanted to
know how that made him feel, because when you just as a sufferer providing food, you don't. It's a thankless job, right?
Yeah.
So years later, to just the fact that they was remembered, that made him feel.
Oh my God! It was the crowning glory to me, because everyone stood up and everybody stood up and I was applauding, and it was just a beautiful moment for someone who was the humblest of person. I think I tell the story. I think I tell Jelly one time when Spanner put Pekka out of the school and said, everybody, the only place we can buy food is at the cafeteria. Hey, everybody strike. I don't even remember. You strike. Everybody strike.
That was my last year at school. We lead a revolt there.
Yeah, the revolt strike. Nobody not eat at the canteen. Nobody eat at the canteen.
Exactly. We'll not go in the canteen. We said no. No,
man,
no more. I'm a last year at school. That's on the last.
So, Jerry,
revolutionary
talk about that
school.
a little bit. On the canteen.
What do you
Talk
mean?
about that.
Yeah,
Tony, you were there.
yeah.
No, I
You were
was
there.
here, but I was on evening shift. I only, when I came back, I heard Pekka was back in. I
No,
didn't,
to
wasn't
we
there
locked
part of
down
what
now.
happened.
We are saying them a lock. Pekka used to be outside, you know. And them
Am
decide
I
say,
Them
sweetie lady? Am I
yeah,
sweetie
yeah.
lady?
And
Let's
them
move the two
decide
of them
say,
out.
them want Pekka can't come. Them a lock. The body can't go to the street go buy nothing from Pekka.
Go buy no food
Yeah,
from
right.
Pekka.
And we are saying mad. And we are
No, but Jelly, remember he was inside under the tree first, you know.
Yeah.
And then right.
No.
And then
Another time, man. May I tell you, it's like him
No, he
outside, you
was
know.
outside first
yes, he
before
was
the
outside
Outside,
inside.
first.
and them
Yes.
want, and them like them build the
Yeah.
wall now, and them a
Build
say
the
we can't go
wall.
outside go buy nothing from Pekka. And that is how now we revolt and I say him need to come inside. People Pekka need a seat at the table as they put it. And
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
revolt, you know, Pekka that's him get and come inside under the tree now,
And come
Tony.
inside under the
Him
tree.
get him spot
Yeah,
under the
because they said
tree.
Talk about the revoke. I want to understand because what had happened when physically went and closed the canteen down.
We just stand up at the doorway and
block
block
off
the
the
door.
door.
We that big man too in the society said nobody now coming out the canteen can buy nothing at all. Man. And lock
No food. And you already had some people back regular had buy canteen food. Can nobody go? Because I remember it
But you had
clearly
choice.
because I was
You had
there.
choice. Some days you go in canteen, some days you go Pekka, depending on
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah,
Yes.
eat.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but Pekka was under the tree, the willow tree them first, you know, when me first come there, you know. And then suddenly they closed the gate and Pekka was none of the vendors were in. The school was trying to maximize pan getting all the food for them revenue for
Yeah,
themselves. And then we
that's what
come back two
purpose of
days
that. Yeah.
later and Pekka was not only was he in, but he was positioned right at the
Position
canteen.
Yeah,
at
man.
the
Yeah, him
canteen.
get a
Yeah.
better position, Tony. Exactly.
Yeah. That was just the impact of it, and a lot
That
of people. I ate from Pekka, and I know there were times when I didn't come up with any money because after practice was done, we're hungry, want a sky juice or something,
And
and
after
color lamb bun. Me never know about that combination until Pekka, like it was him.
you tell people go
So
down to
Kirby
them, I wonder where
Kirby.
you talk about. And you have to understand when a Carl is that after we practice and we are sports people understand this.
you're hungry.
And no, but no, everything else locked down at school. The Pekka was
Everything
there.
lost.
Lockdown.
It's like Pekka there, they wait for we, you know, as the sports people. You know.
Yeah,
So the sports people
yeah,
them need revolt, you know, that me I tell you, and sports people are the most
yeah. We said
influential people
no.
in the school at the time, you know,
At the
Tony.
big man them, at the big man of the day them do that,
Yeah,
man.
man,
Enough
Yeah,
respects for that.
exactly.
yeah,
And Jerry,
because
that changes Pekka life, and for him as an adult, must have recognized the student when I'm back for him, and
Yeah.
maybe that even in turn had to do with how him handled himself with us. But the man was always a gentleman. Hey, there was an ex youth, well, was an evening shift called named Ringy, you know. I not even know if you remember Ringy. He used to start as an orange man. So remember, he Meadowbrook gate on your left, he have a sweetie man there. So remember him?
yes,
Yeah.
I remember Sweetie Man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Before sweetie man, he'd have an ex man named Orange Man will come in, right? And a
Mm.
youth named Duba was messing around, and a guy named Jeffrey Wood, who God bless him soul too, was messing around with Renji. And Renji take out him knife and cut Duba, schoolboy, cut him between him nose and him eye. And Renji no show up again, you know. I said that to say that Pekka was just a constant gentleman and helped students and had a great relationship with them. And just to hear that he was honored in his lifetime by the
Yeah,
students is just enough props to him, man. Enough respect for him who
yeah.
did that.
Thank you for
And
that.
that
Thank you for that story, Carol. I put everything in a context in terms of Pekka and I just need to know exactly when
oh
Pekka
yeah,
started. I want to know Pekka beginning story. I think I don't know if we'll talk about it or I get somebody who was there when Pekka came. I just can't find that yet, but I was
yeah.
curious to know what happened to Pekka up until the time he
Yeah,
scored.
after we left, because I think he used to leave from our school and then go up by is
Manningsville
Haven
Road.
there?
Papa,
Manningsville
yeah,
Road.
Papa where
Yeah,
the Evandale Plaza
gas
up at top of
station.
Evandale.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's him. I think he live
So
there
he
right
used
there.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the New York chapter I think reached out, and I can't remember how the dynamics went, but he was definitely honored in his lifetime,
Yeah, man.
and it
That was
it
good.
was it was something to experience,
You
to
say
tell
I
you the
like
truth. I was
Enough
glad I was
respect.
part of it.
the current crop of student
Enough
want to hear that
respect.
story that matter about the current crop of student need
Yeah.
Enough
to hear the story
respect.
that because it will change life. It will change. When people hear a
Oh yeah.
story, stories will make people change life and think about things different, you know? So I tell you,
Yeah,
Carl.
because you see vendors like that, and you sometimes you turn your head away and not, you
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
realize the impact that they had. Because I think
Yeah.
even some of the teachers and stuff at the time, they kind of they were really rate him,
Hmm.
and they
Well, he
didn't
was an
see the
outsider.
impact that he had. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, he was an outsider, and they weren't close enough to it to know.
He was a
Anyhow, Jelly, I
vendor.
want
He was a vendor to them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
I want to answer
The
the
question,
question
what
that
is how
you
it make you
posed
feel? Yeah,
about
yeah,
how it
yeah,
make
yeah.
you
Go ahead,
feel.
go ahead.
And to Carol's point, some of us were plugged in, so there was already that dialogue and that contact going. But there's so many people that were not plugged in that's getting a chance them to relive the memories. And remember, 40 years, for most part, they think it's forgotten. So, I know for certain man, it's like a revitalization of their youth for them to go back to a place, a happy place that once represented and relive it. For some old athletes who the kids don't even know, so them could have played ball or play cricket or even run, they get a chance to relive it. And you look at a man like John and see how John Belly big. And that,
Leave John alone.
I'm a brethren, man, but Jono's kids have no idea the supreme
Yeah.
athlete he was,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So man, and man, I relive it. But to me, Jelly, and me and you talk about it this week. We are at a stage in our life where we're 50 plus, right? And every day, I tell a man, say we're not guaranteed. We grow up together, and we're almost guaranteed that we're gonna get to our 50s. But now we get there, and you realize the reality of the next 20 years is that we will not all make it the full journey. And you start list out, man, Troy Campbell, Franz Pottinger, Christopher Jones. You
Brian
start
Dixon.
Kevin Miles,
Brian
Pierre,
Dixon,
yeah,
Kevin Miles,
Yeah.
Alfonso Noel Curtis, and you
Colin
just
Yeah.
start
Strawn.
list
Our era. That's our era.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Colin who?
Colin Strawn.
Colin Strong dead, never know so Colin Strong dead.
Long time. Years.
Mm.
But you start list them Monday, and even more recently, and it's like every year there is somebody that fall out, right? And it's just the nature of life and the cycle of where we are, right? We're now our parents. So this podcast, in many cases, and Jelly many times was Harata, we should I get this person on, or we should I get Kevin on before him dead, we should I get Plucky on. I mean, we should get Alfonso on, and then we're recognizing the reality of this journey and where we are by age, and more so the forecast of where we're headed. And you realize how cherished this is, the opportunity to relive, but also how timely it is. It's 40 plus years ago, and the opportunity we have for relive it and to regel and to revive. But the reality of it is just grasping the next 20 years. And so for me, I just, to sit down and talk with Carol Ann-Simpson and Margaret
Yeah.
and Jilly and have this conversation. And you say, man, I capture my voice and recording it forever, but it's providing this historical archive for I'm not want to sound morbid, but it's the reality of where we are.
Yeah,
Enough said.
it is the reality,
Yeah.
Tony. Thank you for
Yes.
that. It is the reality
I,
because, yeah, go ahead, Carl. Someone like got something to say.
no, no, I was just saying that even in the conversations, you guys just like Tony. This one I wanted Tony to be on there because I know he's the encyclopedia of life for Meadowbrook. Um, that it will remind me of some of the things that I did or was a part of my life that, like I said, I vaulted. Um, reminded me that, basketball, and I was in the conversation with those folks in Orlando, the Miracles, and it was like, I totally forgot about that part of my life. So I thank you for the reminder, Tony. I really do. And I'm pretty sure some people listening to the podcast gonna be like,
What?
"What?"
Yeah. Yeah, man, when this go, they're going to say, wow, yeah. Exactly right. And you don't remember
So
it. That's the funny thing. That's about
yeah,
memory, Carl. You're not going to remember all that thing, But somebody
no,
who
yeah,
remember, like somebody who see it and remember it. and bring up the
Yep, I
Kimberley one.
remember.
That's the beauty
And
about it,
bring
man.
it back up, and then I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
that.
That's the beauty why you need. You're glad you come have the conversation, man. And as I say, anybody come on, it's just a conversation, man. It's not no interview. But me just no tenement yard when me digging in about the business. It's just a conversation. Just a conversation.
It's Margaret, and I thank Margaret for being persistent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Persistence is the good word.
Yeah.
That's my middle name, Carol.
Yeah. Right. But
Persistence is the good word, because let me tell you, whoa, she talked me off of this
yeah,
thing.
man. Yeah, man.
She talked me
From
in and
from a
in and
mandate,
in.
me get Margaret the mandate. I said, let's get anybody female who want to come on, and we will talk to them.
No, don't get it wrong, Jelly. I did not want to come on.
But me know, me know, a lot of the things intimidated for come on because the things there is for whatever reason. I understand because everybody.
Remember, Yolande didn't think she could get through it either. Remember?
Yeah. I understand, and nobody come on and regret coming on. That's the beauty about it. Nobody have come on and say, boy, Jelly, you know why I publish this, you know. Them feel good at come on. That's the beauty about
So,
it.
Jelly, will you ask us that question? So I would put it back to you too.
Yeah. The
The
question,
same
what it
question.
make me
Yeah.
feel?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't like no, Carol, but let me answer it. Good question you asked me. Good question. When we start a conversation here, you know, is Face inspire me and Tegreg inspire me. Because them say, them go to Jamaica 2016, Holy the Dead, and you start to about mortality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, say we do the good things at Meadowbrook. Our teams, Woolipa teams, did good things at Meadowbrook in a short span of time. I mean, I said, come like that, we're going to black hole of history. Right? I say, me never like that at all. Me I say, and me start have the conversation, and the idea was, you know, even if we just go talk to the man, and play cricket with or football with, and me want to go have the conversation, and even if nobody else want to listen to Carol,
Mm-hmm.
me was glad to listen to when me in my wheelchair, I'm a walker. Me will sit down and listen back over and over, just listen to myself and talk to my friend them, because that's what it's all about, you know. It's like you meet up a reunion and you have the conversation, and you remember the conversation. I mean, I capture it, and I mean, I say, even if me want to go listen, man, I gotta just do it. I'm just decide, say, I just put it out there. A man want to hear it, him listen, and if him no want to listen, and so. And it make me feel real good for the response I get, and especially from the girls, them. I was overwhelmed for know say the girl them interested to come talk and tell them story. The effect where, I never know say Meadowbrook have the effect on one like with that pan me and Tony, but play sports. And you will play sport to Carol. But you know,
Yeah.
male sports is a dominant thing in the world. And you
Right.
know,
Right.
sports have a bigger impact on man than on woman. I never, and if the people when I play sport, because Tony say, this is not, and after a while I realized, this is not even about the people who play sport. If a man come to Meadowbrook for 10 minutes, more I hear him story. It's about Meadowbrook memories, man. And everybody have a memory for that, man. And it make me feel good for people who want to come share them story every week. And every story different. Every story different, man. It make me feel real good, Carol. I listen back this. Sometimes I listen back. I'm new to the conversation, I listen back sometimes. And I laugh. Because afterwards, I listen back and I say, right, that really acts. It's like... So, it make me feel just as good as I want to feel, man. It make me feel just as good as I want to feel. Me feel good at give it as when I receive it. That's how I feel about it, man. I'm overjoyed for the response I get from one, man.
You know what, to Jelly? I'm amazed at how vulnerable some people make themselves on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things them share just amaze me.
Yeah.
And the diversity of the pool, from teachers to students, from 80s to 90s to 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's not
from yeah.
And it's not the sports we talk about, pick out talk about everything, and man, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
in a sense, you know, after a while, you know, I love the conversation when I don't know the people, you know. Because I learn something. I never play nothing with them. I have a special love for the man I play with, and I never talk and we jail go. But when somebody come on, I know from before. Because a lot of people I
Like
talk
me.
to, I don't know them from a school. I just know them picture, I know them face. You see me, I said to you, it's a good connection I make, man. I talk to them, I feel like I know in a long time, man. And it's a good feeling to get. Because the connection there. It's what I said to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is a beautiful podcast to listen to. Sometimes when I see the podcast come across, I'm like, okay, I don't know who this is. So I run to my book and try to place the name with a face, and then I go, oh, okay. And it's interesting to hear, like I said, their journey through school. It's and I sit back and go, wow, we had all of this diversity going on there. It's huge. It's huge.
I would have getting at some of the one where, as we say, after behind the paid wall, because Margaret talk about some of the journey where we should go at some people's house, and we can't talk about them X-rated house visit there, because them they above.
Not me.
No, you're never going to. Tony, you clear with shit up, Tony.
Margaret, I think I heard you know that
Not
you
me,
just
Margaret. Tony, you're quick to draw a shaggy upon me. It wasn't me. All right, Margaret, it wasn't me. It was you. All right, moving on, Tony.
I could hear the concern in our voice.
Just say, Margaret say it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Margaret. I saw Shaggy said too, but we know differently.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
I saw Shaggy said.
Because I've been on a couple of the conversations where the ladies talk about being in places that they shouldn't have been.
Yeah. No, man, I remember Margaret. I remember it was you. Let me clarify. It wasn't her. I'm going to clarify.
Okay.
Hear about it. And don't go back and spend a propaganda upon her. No.
What was it, Margaret? I didn't know that about you, the podcast.
Margaret, I look at it totally different after tonight. When I see her again, I'll be a blessing. I go on.
Imagine Margaret mother hear this and say, "At that they're going." I mean,
can you imagine?
Yes. Can you imagine that? Oh my God.
In fact, I do know some houses that Margaret used to hang out after school. So if that's the deal, I need to know more.
I've only ever been to two people. No lie. In first form, I remember second form when I was on evening shift.
Margaret?
I remember going to Faith Garden's house and we would walk to school. Daddy would drop me to our house and then we would walk to school.
And Saffron house. We got Saffron.
Yeah, everybody got Saffron house.
Yeah, because the mango tree did that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a well-known house sort of school. But anyway, let me ask you the last question, the second to last question before. Well, not doing my question, but just go to all I know. I'm going to start with you first, Margaret. Is there any question or topic where you think we could have asked Carol, I never asked at all?
No, not at all, However, I think we missed out on some of Carol's fun stuff because she don't remember them and I lost my paper. So I might have to do a sequel to Carol.
Yes, she have to come back as a guest host. So if you remember somebody, when you get the notes, you come back as a guest host. When you get one and a friend, them to come.
All right.
I wonder if I forget them or I vaulted them.
Maybe.
Lord, here we go.
And you, Carol, any question where you could have asked you, I never asked you at all? Or any comment where I like that about we never bring up? The floor is yours.
No, none at all. I think it was well covered. Perfect. I'm trained for media. I remember now I was an athlete at one point, elite athlete. So
yes.
I'm media trained.
No worry, because
right, Mom.
For somebody who said I'm introverted, trust me, Carol, you come out fluent tonight in terms of when you talk, you're comfortable, and that was good. That's all I hear in your voice tonight is that you're very comfortable at talk, and I love that. I love that.
I'm comfortable because, like I said, come around. It's like family.
Yeah, I just say once you know people, once you get to know the conversation, you're comfortable. The conversation just flow. And Tony,
I was specific about who I wanted to be around.
Yeah. Tony, anything you think me leave out where you want to comment about or any question?
Yes, I do have one actually, and I'm gonna address this to Miss Media Train, the Carrol Ann-Simpson.
Oh,
Specifically
Jesus,
during your tenure in high school, Carol, I'd like to
Jesus,
know
no.
who your high school crush was or
Mm.
Tony.
crushes.
Mm.
It was Tony Moore.
Yeah, yeah, right. Come on.
She want vat that 2020. Me know she go
She
on
want
well.
Van
Boy, I mean, know Tony. Maybe you know more than I know.
Carol.
But I answered it. I said it was Tony Moore. The girls, them sugar. No,
Tony,
and the Tony.
Tony, you know
Okay.
what? If it was a referee, we'd have get a red card to the answer. Because I don't believe her.
Right, right.
Red
Try
There's a
right
card.
up,
media trip.
try right down the right power, brethren.
She drawing bad card, power
Try
too.
draw some card power, man. Come on, Carol. Give us one name. Don't make
I'm.
me have to call out some. Give me one name.
Mm, I don't know of one. You have a initial. You have an initial you want me to work with? I think.
Hello, Miss.
Eh?
Miss, it is
Yes.
actually your crush, not Tony's.
No,
So what
but
you
maybe
mean if you have an
Tony might know
initial?
something I don't know. A crush, a crush.
You know, every
No,
single
I
person
don't
at
have.
Meadowbrook had a crush on somebody. So
Everybody
nobody
had a
can
I
crush.
tell me
want.
that you never
Did
have
anybody
none.
have a crush? Did anybody have a crush on me? What
Many
is
a
that?
boys
No, we are
did.
gonna know that, Carol.
Tony may ask.
Okay. Tony might know that.
Tony, I can't recall.
Your
Tony,
PR
I think
training.
you're gonna leave
Your
her
PR.
alone, and I think she's trying to
I'm
trump
gonna leave
again
you
in
alone from
school.
that one. Your PR training has done
Mm-hmm.
well,
It work
and
out.
I
It
Yeah.
work fairly
understand.
good, Tony. Yeah. She could have get a PR job with Kyrie Irving. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. If you avoid certain
um,
ticklish subjects. So yeah.
I'm still thinking. I can't recall.
All right.
Yeah,
While
That
I
would be
think,
the that would be the media question.
me
That would
ask,
be the media answer.
me ask you the last question. While I think, I will come back after the last question. I have a close out question, and this
Mhm.
go for you, Carol. What made Meadowbrook magical?
My friends, the students. That was it. That was it. The students, the friends there.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have made it through Meadowbrook without the crew that I went to school with, starting from first form. I think Tony it was 1M2, and um, because of how everybody was, I know people from the M, the class M, the H, the S, the J. It was a full melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not like because I was placed in 1M2, I was only focused with, and I grew up to know only that crew. I knew everybody, and with that was in the first one, and we grew up together
Mm-hmm.
all the way to graduation, and that's what made it so special for me.
Yeah, man. I can attest to that. The people we meet and the friends that we meet at Meadowbrook felt like family.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, to
Felt
be
like
honest.
family. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
And every time I see one of them exceed or whatever it is, or hear that they're on a path, like, Tony, you've been going on this massive growth path. I love it. I'm a cheerleader behind the scenes. Yay, I know
Me too.
him. I'm like, I
Yeah, me
know
too.
him. Jelly, I know him. I'm like,
Mm.
I'm always rooting and stuff like that. And it makes me proud just knowing. Then especially when they say, oh, this person went to Meadowbrook. I was like, oh.
I,
And then I look and I was like, I know this person
I
that
wanna
went to Meadowbrook.
away. I wanna away. I wanna away.
I wanna read this.
Yeah, man.
But especially when you knew them.
Yeah, man. Knew them
And I mean,
personally.
when
Yeah.
we went into school, we were quite young.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, man. So anyway, I almost 2.5 hour, Carol, and any closing remarks before we close this out? Any closing remark? You first, Carol.
I appreciate the platform. I appreciate you, Margaret, for pushing and being persistent to get me on here to have this conversation. I learned so much in the conversation, and it just truly reignited my joy in the memories that I have. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And
And
Margaret,
Jelly, thank you for having me on there.
oh, you're most welcome, Carol, anytime. And you can come back anytime. Just get your friend and make a co-host and bring your receipts this time, including the name of your crushes. Right, Tony?
I'm like, Tony, just text me again.
Come with receipts this time. Now, Margaret, when she come again, I can get to it here, no worry. I told him I got the question, especially for the girl, I'm going to start asking that question there. Good
Yeah.
question, Tony. We add that to my
Please
repertoire.
do.
We add that to my
My,
Please
repertoire.
do.
So, Margaret,
yeah,
any closing remarks?
Another wonderful conversation. That's it.
Yeah,
oh, I'm so happy.
yeah. And Tony, any closing remark before I close this out?
Yes, warms my heart to spend time with friends, especially friends that people that you date back almost 40 years. But Jelly, as I mentioned this when Nadine was on, and I'm personally lobbying for what I'm calling Meadowbrook Day. And Meadowbrook Day is an event that we need to put on in the next couple of years where everybody wear them school uniform. I don't care how it fit. And it's just a chance for us to walk around the school in school uniform and listen to period music, just relive the vibe. It's like being in school again. Go sit down in the classroom. Luke Whitta and I did that one day in New York. We wore our khakis with our epaulet, just for fun. But I think it would be a fun day for all of us get a chance to go Meadowbrook and be a student again. Just our call it 80s, 90s, anybody who went to school in that era, just to hang out in school and just to jelly show up with them white shirt and them tie and just or what with a cricket bat on there, man. And just to relive it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, when you say that, Tony, I'm happy on that because this is what we make. The last couple of years, I haven't been to any of the reunions, and this sort of kind of wake up something like, hey, you need to go back to the reunions and I'm hoping and wishing that this platform is reaching out to others that they can come to the reunions too, because they used to be fun. Like
Yes.
we had a sports day too, and I mean, God bless us on the sports day, but it was fun, and it kind of reminded me of that this whole conversation. So I will make an effort to try and get to go to another one.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that inspiration I reach you, Carol. And I hope it reach other
Mhm.
people to them. Just hear them conversation and say, want to go back for one day before.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go there one day. And they say, and you say, Tony, once you start, and everything starts with an idea, You do it one time and you say, every year you can do it, and then you have an annual event, and it's like become a big thing. You see me, I said, and you're the friend to know that go inspire you, them at the school. The girls and the boys, them. We say, old stars are coming.
Yeah.
Because we think so we're young. Because we still think, we talk like when I left school, Because one of them conversations like we're still at school,
Yeah, yeah. Our voices don't age
No,
in the
right.
same
That's it.
sense, right?
That's it. The beauty
So
about this, though. That's why I never decided. That's why I decided not to involve no video in this from the start. That's the voice more here.
yeah.
Got videos that got distract people. Oh, I say him look here now. I say she look here. No. Just hear the voice and hear the story. Your voices don't change to one. The same voice from school here, man. You're right about that, Tony.
Yeah.
The voices don't change at all.
I got a
Anyway,
little I got a little matured.
yeah.
Like good wine, my dear, like
Yeah,
good
Margaret, here,
wine.
we're going to go to that. She'll come back with our receipts with our friend. No worry. You
Listen.
pressure here, Margaret. I'll tell you attack. Because she sounds like a media expert. She have to be back on. She have to come on back. Here, Tony, here,
Loud and clear, loud and
Listen,
clear.
I
Anyway,
had my notes.
yeah, and with the notepad. Don't hide the notes. And Margaret, make sure you find the notes the next time. Because when she find her friend and come back, man, and just come. And when she hear this, someone will say, yeah, man, no, nothing. Jelly now
No
bowling
man.
like a fast bowling at it. Jelly just easy same, yeah. There's some easy
I,
conversation. Just so. That's how it go.
yeah.
That's how it go, man. Anyway, ladies, Carrol Ann-Simpson, it was a pleasure you come and give this conversation. Margaret Livermore, as Tony said, the lady with the velvet touch, and when them conversation you go out, you will be indebted for no. I will be indebted, and Meadowbrook will be indebted for no. Say Margaret Livermore responsible for a lot of these female conversations will come out. And I love that. I appreciate that, Margaret. Without you, a lot of them would not. Margaret just texted me and said, Jelly, so and so next week. I'm say, yeah, we're ready. I'm going to pull it off. And 20 more, as I say, when the female come on, the most requested co-host to the female them. So, and I'm always available, even for my travel. I'm always available. I say, yeah, Jelly. I ran a little late, but I know nothing. I saw. I thank
The
you
girls, them sugar.
Sorry, I didn't name that now. We're not should not stop that.
I saw it, girl. I saw it, girl.
Anyway, I thank Triano here, sir. I thank Triano, Carrol Ann-Simpson, Margaret Livermore, Tony Moore. Thank you. God bless you all.
Bless up. Bless
And
up.
we
Bless
thank
up.
you for staying the course. Because you
Thank
have
you.
given up already. Thanks, Jelly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm blessed. And God bless the great school at Meadowbrook High School.
Bless
Amen.
up,
We're not
Yes.
everybody.
stop to that because
Yeah.
I bless them. Because everything we talk about after Meadowbrook, see me. And thank you all here, sir. I love that conversation. Thanks.
Wonderful.
All right.
Appreciate it. Have a good
Bye.
night. Yeah, man. Thanks. Cool.
Bye-bye.
So, subscribe to Meadowbrook Memories YouTube channel right now and never miss another memorable conversation. Thanks for listening to Meadowbrook Memories. And remember to give us all the support and encouragement you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. And special thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince, who takes care of everything involved in getting the podcast out every week. And without him, this podcast would not be possible. It is his expertise that allows me to do what I love doing every week, having great conversations about Meadowbrook Memories, and he's responsible for everything else. So again, thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince.